Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tides of Death. How are half of my favorite players doing today?
You mean 2/3, right?
I'm doing well, Nick. Or Koibu.
You like to
Thank
think
you.
that it's just the three of you, but it's not.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Oh, I see. Everyone's your favorite player. So this is really only like 12ths of your favorite players?
I mean, how far back in time you want to go?
Yeah, that's right. We've clocked you there. Yeah, no, I'm doing good, yeah.
Good. Well, today is our John and Nilrem special. If you'll remember way back many episodes ago when the party stole their boat, we sort of split the timelines and split the parties, and John and Nilrem went off to Arcadia to sell return the horse, get a crew, and come back while Sale and Archie, I can't believe I blanked on his name. Sale and Archie went off and did their own thing. So today's
The main
session...
character.
Yeah. Today's session, we're going to look at John and Nilrem coming to Arcadia to return a horse and get their pirate crew. And hopefully not die, because that would really, really mess up the timelines.
That would be
So,
annoying, yeah.
Where are we coming in? Because I'm conscious that we can't just walk into Redport with this fucking horse without a plan.
Yes.
So, and there's still a bunch of NPCs on the ship who we've just enslaved, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a bit of a shit show right now, and it's on you to make it work. So, maybe this is too intensive music for now. Where is it that you want to go? Because you're out at sea, you've got your crew, your new people, you've got your rowers, your sailors, you've disarmed all of the officers. The two of you have control of the ship. But where are you going to go?
Well, we're going to Redport.
Okay.
But how far has it been since Archie and Sale left? Like, are we standing on the deck waving at them as they sail away? Or
They have just passed earshot. You can no longer call them back under any circumstances, but they're, leaving right there.
All right, so I'm standing there. I'm like waving, and Nilrem's like stood next to me, and I turn to him and I say, "All right, Nilrem, we've got to be clever here because there's now only two of us, and neither me or you can fight as well as Archie."
I think it would be easier, Captain. We don't have them to fuck it up for us.
Let's just, we've taken over now. If we need to enforce it, we can. But let's just be friendly here. We got to live with these people for the next few weeks at least. And I'll spin on my heel and look across the deck. What are people doing?
Kind of staring around dumbly, needing to be whipped into shape.
All right, well, don't just stand there looking. Let's get back to work.
The
Set
clap
the
of your...
sails for Redport.
All right. With a clap of your hands and a shout of orders, the crew hops to action. And sometime later, you see Redport on the horizon.
Wait. Hang on. I point to one of them and say, "You, take me to the horse. Nilrem, come on."
You need to see a man about a horse.
You go back down below decks, and you find a big box. No, the tiger was in the box. There's just a horse tied up down there. It's fine.
Is it the most beautiful looking horse we've ever seen?
It's a damn fine horsey. It is muscular. Its hair is braided. It's had like a pattern shaved into its fur in sort of like a decorative, presentive way. You know they're gonna have to reshave it before it gets there because horsehair grows back in, and someone did this probably right before they left. Someone else is probably gonna have to reshave the horse right before he arrived to get it in perfect shape. It's got like highly polished horseshoes that glint off of the wooden deck below.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So there's a groom on the ship then? I assume?
There's gotta be. Yeah.
Captain, why were we
Yes.
giving this horse to the guy anyways? Why
Didn't
were we going to sell it?
they say that? No, this guy's paying for it, right?
If I recall, he's already paid for it. I'll look to the guy next to
all
me
of it?
who brought us over here. Is what I'm saying right?
Don't just stand there fucking with a smile on your face. Answer the question.
I'm not the one in charge. I don't know
Get
anything
the
about the
fucking
horse.
right guy then.
Well, find out who it is.
Yes, sir. And he runs off to go find information about the horse.
If I
It's
recall correctly, I believe that you said that it was already paid for, and this was just being brought over now.
Oh no, why would we agree to do it then?
I don't remember.
Maybe it's a 50-50 situation. You're like half now, half late. No, wait, wasn't it meant to be a gift?
Oh, that might have been what it was. It might have been a gift.
It might have been a gift.
I don't remember.
I'm looking
So-
for the episode.
We can't give it to this guy. I stole this guy's ship. I can't be like, here, sorry about the ship, here's a horse.
Wasn't there a good reason though?
There must have been. We don't
Cast
do
water
anything
walking on the
reasonless.
horse. Be amazing. Do you imagine that? Cast water walking on the horse and then just like ride across the sea? Like mounted knights charging a ship. That's amazing.
Okay, it's for the former count of Wake County.
It's the former count,
Oh, then
well,
we
right.
can do
Well,
it.
yeah,
not the king.
not the king. It's for the guy who's in Clydesdale, who used to be in charge of Wake County, but now is like just the dude who
That's
runs
fine.
Clydesdale.
Maybe we could get into some shit here and kill the guy who's the king and restore this guy to power. Just as a little aside.
Does this guy care?
That might be a bit taking on a bit too much trouble there.
I have no idea why you were going to return it to him
We're doing it for goodwill.
in a continent that the
sure
rest of the
he'll-
campaign doesn't take place.
We'll also just we'll say we want money. We'll say like we stole the ship and like we heard you want this horse.
Yeah, that's it.
So you can
That's
pay
a
us for
genius
it.
idea, Captain.
Thank you, Nora. I nod to myself. That is a good idea.
I'm sure that he's gonna love that with all his guards right there.
He's gonna this guy. He's not gonna have as many guards as he did before.
Okay.
He'll be fine. It's just
Well, you know,
we won't admit to
man
being
wants a
pirates.
horse. Well, we're not.
We'll say we came across it. That we bought it at a reduced price.
Okay. Heavily
Yeah.
reduced.
Heavily reduced, yeah, but we would need to make a profit, so I'm only asking for half of its true value right now. Because of transportation and feeding it, and we've had to pay this groomsman to shave all this stuff into it, and look at how shiny its shoes are. It doesn't happen cheaply, my lord.
No, it does not.
That's right.
Was it because you
So-
wanted to tie up loose ends so no one would come looking for your ship? Maybe that's why you wanted to deliver the horse.
No, because they're gonna know the ship's gone.
Yeah.
They're gonna be looking for the ship no matter what, if there's a horse or not. Because we stole their ship. We didn't steal.
It's true.
What happened to the ship? It went missing. Was there any horses on board? No. Oh, fine. Don't worry about it.
Don't.
Yeah, all right. I don't know. It's been too long.
We're gonna go deliver it. But why do we need to stop in Redport? Because if I look at the peninsula, if I don't land at Redport, where could I land?
You can land
Land
in
Hillsborough?
Hillsborough or Rockwave. They're both.
Well, Rockwave's out of the way because we're going to Weatherlight next. So Hillsborough would maybe make more sense than Redport. So I'm musing this out loud. Maybe, you know what, maybe we shouldn't go to Redport. Might catch some heat there, given my last encounter with the new king.
It's been
Maybe
a
we
few
should just-
years, right? No one's gonna fucking remember your sorry mug.
I don't know, Nilrem, this face tends to stick in people's minds. It's known all over the Dardanelles, and I've only been there a year or so.
Captain, we have a whole different crew, and I need to see a man in Redport. There's a lot
Well,
of magical components that I can buy there, and I know who exactly has them. I have an old friend there.
I do have some good memories of the place. I'm just... What do we do with the horse? You think this thing's gonna arouse suspicion on the docks? Neil, I would know. Do I feel like this horse is gonna arouse suspicion?
It will not arouse suspicion in and of itself. It's a fabulous horse. It will attract attention, but not inherently suspicion. Someone arriving from far off lands with a fancy horse.
Yeah.
Attention, suspicion, not the same.
Okay, we just gotta get our story straight. So, this ship... Remember the captain, the old captain? They're from Tide's End and Solemn, right? You remember that?
Right.
So, I can't really say that we're from there because I can't do that accent. But we could say that the ship was moored. It was like it had run aground, you see, and many of its crew had died out at sea, and the captain was just looking to sell it off. So we bought it.
It is a bunch of fucking dwarves.
What are you talking about?
You know, these are not the smartest bunch. They're not the stupidest, they're not the brightest, but they're not going to be asking any questions. Oh, you got a ship. Yeah.
It's not the same as the Dardanelles, that's true. Maybe I'm getting a little bit paranoid.
We're going to be alright.
But I've run into some hot water around these parts in the past, Nilrem. You understand?
And anything that you'll have trouble with, Captain, I'll be right there.
I turn to the horse and say, it's probably going to be fine, right? All right, Nilrem, I guess you're right.
I pat the horse.
Let's go back up deck.
I'll call out on deck. Where's the groom?
The groom comes running, found by the guy who was staring slack-jawed earlier.
How much could we sell this horse for?
Well, the horse is promised to the former Count of Clydesdale. You can't sell it.
I
Not what I
smack
asked
him.
you.
I smack him across the face.
Ow!
That's not what I asked you.
Answer the question, please.
Oh, 1,000 gold, easily.
Wow.
Just need a couple of days or weeks to find a buyer.
Well,
So
time
we
we've
offer it.
got.
Well, no, we'll offer it to the guy for like 500. What do you think?
The guy who
600.
it's promised to? You can't do that. That's theft.
Well, we can't offer it to him.
No, hang on. Sorry, I didn't ask you for your opinion about this. Go and brush the horse.
Yeah, go brush the horse.
He sulks downstairs.
All right, hear me out, Captain.
Okay.
Dwarves, they like to one-up each other, probably. They have a lot of inner dwarven rivalry and scuttle. What if
Makes sense.
we sell it to the guy in either Redport or Rockwave, the other dwarf dude? You know, they'll have a laugh. He's got his other friend's horse. Now the friend's mad because the guy's got his horse.
I can sell a lot of things to a lot of people, but I'm not going to be able to sell this horse to the guy whose ship I stole just a year ago. That's not going to go down well. Now, I don't know about... No, I'm not confident that you could sell him the horse without inadvertently killing him.
Sure.
So I think the guy in Redport, that's probably out of the question. Now, in Hillsborough, though, there's got to be a baron there or someone. Maybe he'd want it.
Dwarves are famous for their love of horses.
That does sound right.
What about Heatstroke, Captain? Is there anyone there?
In Heatstroke? No, yeah,
Yeah.
some bad mojo going off in Heatstroke. No, don't you remember?
think I
That's why
heard about
everyone's leaving this place. That's why the ship was full of refugees. Yeah, if it weren't for those mountains over there by Hillsborough, this place would be overrun by now. I have it on
How
good
about
authority.
we head over to Redport? We stay there for a night. I handle my business, and then we make a hurried exit to Hillsborough.
Well-
We sell that man the horse, then we head over
Yeah.
to Weatherlight.
We'll leave the horse on the ship in Redport. Me and you will just
Yeah.
get off. We'll stay in the dock. We'll go and meet your friend. We'll go and... What is it you want to do with this guy?
He's gonna sell me magical components.
Rare things, right? I suppose.
Oh yeah,
Can-
the rarest.
All right. Okay, cool. I'm on board for that. That sounds fun. Okay, so we dock up. We pay the docking fees. We go and visit your friend. We have a few drinks, play some cards, buy the components, make a night of it. Come back. We sail to Hillsborough. We get in with the baron there. We sell him the horse. Then we go to Weatherlight, pick up some of the old crew. I've got a score to settle over there. And then yeah, we get who we can, and we head back to the Dardanelles. Easy as that.
I'll call out to the crew. Who's the best fighter on board?
No one's sure anymore since you just killed, like, all the fighters. They'll have to take a look around, and I think the best fighter on board is one of the Marines who is a 0th level or 1st level fighter. The crap at this point.
Didn't- We saved the lady though, right?
Yeah, but she went back with
She
the
went
others.
with the other crew. Yep. I just
Yeah,
wanted-
yeah.
All right.
Is there a way for me, Neil, to stop them just sailing off with the ship? Like, They won't be allowed to leave without me.
We can Nilrem ship in the bottle it if you'd like.
You have to make
that
a
is a
ship out of this, which will take a while.
How long is the journey?
Weekish? I think
Then we've got to take the horse off the ship, and it's a pain. And the tiger. Is the tiger still alive?
The tiger was on a different ship, I think.
Where was it?
I believe the tiger was a long time ago on the merchant ship.
it's a different ship.
Okay.
Different ship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
Tiger
just a
was in
little
the
bit worried
box.
about leaving all of the people we've just, killed and captured with the ship alone.
I do believe at the end they had all sort of been pressed into we're going to get off the ship or join you permanently.
That
And
is
so
true,
when you get
yeah.
to port, it's not like they're just going to hang around. They're either volunteers or they are departing.
Well,
We
no,
were pretty
but
nice to them too.
but I need them to stick around till we get to Weatherlight.
Well,
right.
that might
Let's
not
go to
work.
Weatherlight first.
Yeah,
Get a reasonable crew.
yeah,
And then we can head down and do this.
Okay.
that makes more sense.
I'll go and tell them. I go back up to the deck. Is there the person on the wheel? Hey, you!
The helmsman comes over to you hurriedly. Sir?
Weatherlight, not Redport.
Aye, aye. And they change course. Sometime later, Weatherlight appears on the horizon. You sail around, up towards this area. I think this is called the... Ooh, it's not on this version of the map.
We all have armor.
The spell, right?
Yes.
Yeah, great. You head to the Strait of Aemon, which is this area over here, and make your way to Weatherlight.
Okay.
Arriving at the dock. Now, Weatherlight is in a nice, cozy bay. If you've been to the San Francisco Bay Area, it's one of those big inside, soft, gentle bays that's still sort of deep, but the tides aren't too bad. It's protected from any sort of storm or weather conditions. It's a perfect natural harbor. And out here in this harbor area, there's all these little fishing boats taking extracting resources from the sea. You can see clammers out there and people pulling pearls out of oysters. And you can make your way to the cozy docks and the little markets in Weatherlight.
Well, I'd like to address the crew just as we're coming into the dock.
Sure.
So everyone's gathered. All right, well, we've got this far. I'll repeat what I said last time. Those of you who wish to leave, this is a friendly town. You'll meet like-minded folks here. You can find a ship back wherever you want to go, or you can make a life for you here. No hard feelings from me. Go on your merry way. If you want to work, you want to go back to the Dardanelles and live a life of adventure, glory, and riches, feel free to stick around. I'll be in town for maybe a few days. Got a few people to meet, a couple of scores to settle. Anyone who's staying, I'll pay some preliminary wages, and you can have some fun in the town.
They snap attention and then stand down and talk amongst themselves, sorting out their plans. People trying to decide who's staying and who is going. And then we arrive. You
How many
pull
people
up
are
to
leaving?
the long dock. 3/4 are leaving. You pull up to the long dock. Everyone hops off. Most of the Marines and former fighters are taking off. Some of them are staying. A lot of the sailors are going as well. Of course, all of the officers and all the people promised to the crown of the place that you would come from are taken off. But the poorly paid folks, the mercenaries who have joined, the newer people, they're sticking with you.
So what kind of ratio are we looking at?
3/4 left.
Mm-hmm.
How many people stayed?
1/4 stayed, so I think it's about... You need 60 to man the ship, I believe. So you're getting 15 plus some Marines. You're getting about 20.
Okay. No, I need to make sure I look good here. I straighten my jacket and I mess with the feather in my hat. Do I look impressive? Like a captain of great import? Someone who's traveled the 7 seas and led great adventures?
No one will dust your shoulders and give you a fresh casting of armor.
Nice.
You look beautiful.
Thank you, Nilrem. All right. Okay, let's go. So are we okay to leave the horse on the ship? Is the groom going to stay on the ship and mind the horse?
Well, the groom can't leave the horse. The groom is staying with the horse. Wherever the horse goes is where the groom goes. The groom is going to end up with the horse. He's not going to hang around with some scallywag pirates, and he's not going to wander around the town that he doesn't have a connection to. This horse is the groom's lifeblood to whatever is going to await him in the future.
Fantastic. So I will. Oh, he goes with the horse. That makes sense.
He's going to go with the horse. Like, originally he wouldn't. He was supposed to just care for it on its way, but like now it's sort of his bargaining chip.
So the 20 people who are staying, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give each of them like 3 gold, so I'm gonna take 60 gold off the sheet.
Mm-hmm.
That should keep them tight. That should tide them over, right?
They're tied over him.
Yeah.
Fine. I watch them all get off the ship first.
Mm-hmm. And off
then
they
I
go.
will, with Nilrem at my side, we'll head down the gangplank to the harbour master.
Nilrem wearing his wraith robes.
The harbor master looks at the two of you coming down the docks. Looks a little startled by Nilrem and his like darkish demeanor. Hi, you wouldn't happen to be vampires, would you?
That's a weird question, Davey. You saying you don't remember me?
See a lot of faces. A lot of weird things happening lately. Who might you be?
No, hang
I
on.
thought you were famous around here, Captain.
I take my hat off. You remember me, right? Captain John Winters.
Little Johnny, how you doing?
Oh, Johnny. You've always been a joker, Davey. Yeah, I'm doing good, you know. I've been all over the place, mate. I've been to the Dardanelles, I've been to Solemn, I've been making deals with kings. It's been crazy out there.
Oh my god, well, you wouldn't believe the things that have happened here. Gadia? Gate Isle, just north of us?
No, those backwards fucks.
Oh man, overrun by zombies and the undead. You wouldn't even believe it. You going through the Strait of Aemon, you gotta be real careful, man. I wouldn't go through the strait. I would go all the way around Gadia. I know the weather out there is way worse, but like, people have reported weird things. Flocks of bats that suck the blood of all the people on a boat and leave them just like dead and desiccated. Stay out of there.
What's going on over there on the island?
Don't know, but we got a whole bunch of new folks come off Gate Isle looking for work, looking for houses, looking for a place to be. It's a real mess.
Well, that's why I was here, you know. I was looking to pick up some crew. Don't suppose they're all still hanging out in the fishbowl, are they?
Well, yeah, the ones that know what they're doing, Nar.
Davey, it's been a pleasure, my friend. How much do I owe you? Probably be here for about 3 nights.
Well, a ship of that size is 2 gold a night for docking privileges.
It's fine. I give him 7 gold.
Captain, aren't you supposed to haggle? This is an old friend. I'm sure he'll give you a discount.
Those are the
he's
discounted prices. Who are you?
Yeah, no, he's new. He's new. Don't worry about him.
Edgy looking guy.
You want to be careful, Davey. He's a wizard of some renown.
Davey immediately like straightens up and sorry, sir. Like clearly he's affected by this statement and composes himself a lot more appropriately. And you notice his feet like sort of shift towards Nilrem a little bit more.
No,
I hand Davey 7
do a
gold.
bow.
Right. Well, we'll keep it for 3.5 days then.
Perfect.
Sir?
All right. So, Nilrem, this is it. This is the old stomping grounds. You wouldn't believe the things we used to get up to around here. Archie and I would run amok. Yeah, I mean, there's not a man in the Dardanelles that can fight him. I can tell you for now. There's not a person in this whole town that could even scratch him. And we had to run of the place. Even the guards were scared of us. It was fantastic.
What a life, Captain.
It really
Why'd you
was.
leave it?
Well, you know, my eyes got too big for my stomach. Took one job too many, and next thing I know, I'm on the run, shipwrecked in the Dardanelles, and that's how I met you. You know, it's I guess some good things start in bad ways, but you know, it's all worked out now, hasn't it?
That it has.
So
we're here for a crew?
Yeah, that tavern over there. That's where all the old sailors, all the old scurvy dogs hang out. Reckon, given what that guy was saying, Davey, probably find some crew there, no problem. Take a few days to rest. back on the ship and head back over to the peninsula.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Wonder if there's anybody from the Dardanelles here.
I doubt it. Those types don't really tend to get that far, you know? I mean, you're the only person from the Dardanelles that I ever met over here. At least the only one that admits it.
How about you go with your friends in the tavern and I'll scout the town, see if I can find anybody interesting.
What do you mean interesting?
Well, you know I'm looking for an apprentice.
Yeah, well, don't kill any kids. No, I've got a reputation here to uphold, okay? And it's not that kind of reputation.
I'm not gonna kill any kids here. None of them are gonna serve the White Prince, so nobody has to...
Yeah. Okay, I believe that that's what it was about, I suppose. Fine, all right. Well, I'll be in the fishbowl, you know? Don't wander around the streets too long. You look... I don't take this the wrong way, but you look weird. You look intimidating. People are gonna talk. People will be scared.
Nilrem gives you a wicked smile. Good.
Yeah, okay. Have fun. I will turn and go towards the fishbowl.
You find yourself in the fishbowl, one of the local watering holes down here by the docks, aptly named for all of their fish fillets and all of their fish and chip style dishes that they have, as well as a glass hemisphere that sits in the bottom of the floor here. So it's right on the dock, and you can look down and see the fish swimming below. This glass hemisphere was brought all the way from Nome, the Nomish nation of mighty engineers, a long time ago by a traveler in order to get access to the town and be able to set himself up. And here you are.
Nice.
Fishbowl.
So I'm not, I walk in, I open the door, I stop, I look around, I cross the crowds of the fishbowl, I take it in, the smell, the sounds. I look behind the bar, and the same bartender is probably there. He's like, his belly's rolling up against the bar, he's like sweating, but then his like two pretty young daughters are sort of, you can see one cooking in the kitchen maybe, things haven't changed. And I've been on a very, this crazy journey, but peace of home. What I will do is, I will go up to the bartender. I don't announce myself or anything like that. I'm just going to go up. Barkeep, an ale, please.
Right away. And he goes over, pours you an ale, sets it on the table, holds up 3 fingers.
He means 3 copper, right?
Yeah.
I throw him a silver.
He tips his hat at you and pockets the silver and stands back at the bar.
Hey, I don't suppose you've got any writing materials. I'd like to make a notice for the bar, looking for crew.
Of course. He walks over to the other end, pulls out like a little writing kit. It's got a little board and some little paper, papyrus that's there, a small inkwell, a pen, a little bag of ponce, I think it's called, the stuff that you dry wet ink with, and sets it at the end of the bar for you.
Okay, great. I will take the writing kit, give the bartender a nod, and then go and find a table to sit at.
Yep, you find a table. The place is pretty busy. There's a lot of folks here, mostly new faces. You can see a lot of people from Gadia here, from Gade Isle, and a bunch of, just regular old locals.
Cool.
Quite busy.
I want to write this notice. I want it to be good. I'm even going to do a little bit of illustration, but it's going to be like saying, do you want a life of adventure, glory, and riches? Join Captain John and the Crimson Fists. And then a little picture of our Crimson Fist flag, and it'll say be here at sundown in 2 nights time or something like that. On a certain date.
Free drinks.
Yeah, free drinks. Yeah, free drinks.
That's how it goes.
That's right. So I spend probably a good few hours getting this right.
Writing it out, rolling it up, tossing away the thing, carefully wording it. Yeah. The bartender will bring you a refill of your drink partway through. And I guess you settle into a cozy routine over at a small table, mug of ale in your hand, quill in the other.
And I'm keeping it low profile for now. I guess I want John sees his moment of revealing to everyone is to be when everyone's gathered to join the crew. Do you know what I mean? So he's going to just play it low profile for now. But I think you can maybe switch over to see what Nilrem's doing. I don't do too much crazy stuff here.
Yeah. Well,
We've
Nilrem.
got two things to do.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to visit the local temple.
Mm-hmm.
It's the deity of.
Yeah. Well, the local area has a few temples. Let me get my list. They have the main generalist temple that sort of serves the bulk of the needs of the town.
His goal
and then
is to find one with a cleric.
Okay. There is a separate temple to Astaire, a separate temple to Quantarius. Not so much a temple as like a place down on the docks where there's like a Quantarius post on the docks where trades can happen. You pay a small fee, but a cleric or a priest of Quantarius overwatches all the deals to make everything on the up and up. There is a temple to Nerul, goddess of hearth in the home and family and society, and another temple to Nadinus, goddess of nature, tides, weather, storms, that sort of thing.
Okay. I think he will go to the Temple of Astaire. Just seems fitting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you go to the temple of what is known in this area as the Father. He is here to sort of oversee the social order, make sure that people work together, cooperate, laws are abided by, teamwork is encouraged. And you're looking for a priest, a cleric, you say?
Yeah. See if I can suss one out.
There's no cleric here in the Temple of Astaire.
Okay. He'll head over to the Nadinus one.
No cleric at the Nadinus temple either.
He'll
Just a
kick
couple of
rocks and
priests.
go to the orphanage then.
Not gonna do the Quantarius one.
Well, you said it was more like a sign. If it's like a real, he'll walk by it. Does he see anything? I guess.
Yeah, you would have walked by it when you came through the docks. It's not so much like we come here to pray. It's more of like this is a trading post that the god of trade oversees through his priests and clerics. And so they're there to like perform a function. It's like if you went to a hospital, there might be a cleric of Martha there, sort of thing.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll check it out then.
Yeah.
He's looking for a cleric.
Well, you will indeed find a cleric of Quantarius here. I don't know if you'd be able to tell level right off the bat.
No,
but this
probably
person's got some like wisdom behind their eyes. They've been around the block, They're not some fresh out of cleric school sort of person. It's a 6 foot tall, 155 human male who's like 86 years old. He's got this like scraggly hair, these like tired long eyes, wrinkled hands, and everything is done. The blessings that he performs on people have that like I've done this 10,000 times motion behind it.
He's gonna go over with the gold ring that he had from the Kaiser Wizard, and he's gonna set it in front of him and ask him, good cleric of what is
Quantarius.
it? Quantarius. Good cleric of Quantarius. I was wondering how much this gold ring from a wizard faraway land would fetch me. You must have some idea.
Cleric looks at you for a moment and he says, value is in the eye of the beholder, young sir. I would pay not 2 gold for that ring. But that man over there, and he says, pointing across the harbor, that one might pay you upwards of 100 gold or more. How good of a salesman are you? Is the real question.
Not the best salesman. I am interested, however, in
Then maybe half the 100.
Transferring knowledge. Have you ever heard of someone named, and he'll get real close if the cleric will listen?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of someone named Rohi before? You're an old, wise cleric.
Rohi. No, I'm not familiar with that name. Should I? Who is this man?
I shrug. I'm only passing on knowledge. Your god might be interested in that, however. Some would call him, Nilrem thinks to himself, and he's going to do an ink check because I can't remember the exact saying of it. The Lenorum dragon.
Telemachy. Yeah.
He'll toss that his way too. Have you ever heard of this thing?
Telemachy? The dragon? No, don't know of that name. Must be a distant dragon. Definitely not one of the ones here on the Arcadian Isles.
Where would I get such knowledge about the things that I'm looking for? Oh, great cleric.
Once upon a time, I would have said you should go to Stromheim, but that place is leveled and no more. The great clerics of Heatstroke had immense knowledge, but they too are gone from our world. You might be able to seek out a spellcaster in Redport who knows of things far and distant. Might be a man there named Marlin or Marley?
Not Merlin, right?
Oh, yes, definitely. Great Merlin the Wizard from Redport. Wise man, knows a great many things. Has a large library. You should ask him.
I know.
Who is Roki the same as Telemachy?
I shrug. You should pray on it. And then
Okay.
Nilrem will walk over to the guy who he pointed out. Fine gentleman. I have the finest ring, and I was told that you were looking for one. It's from a wizard, and I'll flick it in my hand. Give you a dex check to make, I want it to look cool and flashy.
Let's see it.
Is that okay?
Yeah. It flips sort of towards him. He's got to reach out of the way a little bit to catch it, but it does a nice tumble through the air. He'll catch the ring, turn it over a few times, close his eyes, feel its weight, pull out a little looking glass, a little lens to look at the crystal itself. This is a nice piece. Offering it for trade?
I am.
Well, the gem's just a piece of glass. It's fake. But the ring itself is nice. We could reset something there or melt it down for its value of gold. Not sure what these symbols are on the side. Don't know if anyone's going to want a ring with random symbols.
Normal.
He brings out a
Try
scale.
to grab the ring.
Yeah, you can take the ring back.
And he'll
He
look at the
stacks them.
symbols.
There's like a dolphin on one of them, and there's like some waves on one side. It looks like some sort of nautical symbology.
When I casted Detect Magic on this, there was no magic, right?
Correct.
And my understanding is, if this was like a key to like a hidden door, it would need to be a magical ring. It can't just be like a mundane ring with symbols on it.
If you
Or
were
my-
using like an Aldrich's discriminating door, it totally could be a mundane ring that just had a very
okay.
specific appearance.
That does make sense. And I think that's who I got it from, so. How much are you offering for this? Normal, ask him.
He'll put the ring on some scales and stack up some gold coins next to it. It'll have the weight of 3 gold coins. He'll look at the gold coins and look at the ring, look at the gold coins, look at the ring, goes, well, at worst I could sell it for 3 gold, but more likely I could probably get 4 times that. I'll give you 12 for it.
Normal, grab the ring and put it in his pocket and just like walk off.
All right. He collects his coins on the scales and heads his own way.
Good stuff. Nilrem heads to the orphanage,
Yeah.
knocks on the door. Rap, rap, rap.
You find an orphanage on the far side of Weatherlight. A moment or two passes until a heavy-set cook arrives at the door. He's got like a deep, low voice, and he says, "Hello."
I'm a wizard looking for an apprentice, and today is your lucky day. I will be making a 10 gold donation to the orphanage, and I may be walking away with one of your very own children.
Right this way, sir, says the cook, and sort of stands up a little bit straighter and tries to lead you towards like a waiting room off on one side. It's a really small, cozy little place. And he'll
Fine.
bring you in. Maybe a few minutes later, an authority figure will arrive. This is the head
Is this like a
mistress.
nice orphanage or like a really run-down place? What am I talking here?
It is not a nice orphanage. In fact, there are no nice orphanages. They're pretty much all donation-based and fairly... They use cheap land and cheap buildings wherever they can find them, and there's not usually a lot of money for upkeep. So yeah, it's a little rundown. It's a little dingy inside. You know, like
Give a bow.
They don't even have money to properly light all the rooms with candles. They gotta save money here and there where they can find it. The headmistress walks on in. She is about 41 years old, 5'6", 132 pounds, and she reaches out a hand to shake yours. And you'll notice the ring on her finger on her hand has the symbol of Malchus, god of chaos, on it.
Nilrem will, is she like grimy or is she like a nice dressed lady? What are we talking here?
Simple clothes, but well put together and, with good personal hygiene. Nothing fancy, but very tidy.
He'll take her hand and he'll shake it.
I hear you're here to make a donation and adopt a child. Thank you.
That I am. Please show me your wares.
She does not laugh.
He doesn't laugh either. He says it that way. Very seriously.
I'm afraid we don't just sell children to whoever comes along. There is an application process to make sure you're not dangerous.
No, of course.
Who are you?
I am Nilrem. I am an apprentice to Merlin of Redport, and we are looking for my very own apprentice.
Do you live in Weatherlight?
No, ma'am, I live in Redport, but we're
then
visiting...
why are you here looking for children?
Because apprentices are hard to find, and I'm looking for a very particular one. One with the intellect and or wisdom to do the work. I've already visited Hillsborough, Clydesdale, Rockwave, and now I have arrived at your doorstep to make a wealthy donation, whether I find an apprentice or not. He'll hand over 10 gold.
She quietly pockets the money without counting it, looks you up and down, and starts to take a walk around you to look at you from every different angle. You seem well off enough. What is your source of income, sir?
Wizardry. I make doors. In fact, if you'd like, I could make you a door that nobody could go through. But it would... He looks around at the establishment making a show of it. It would cost you probably more than this entire place is worth.
She finishes her rotation around you. Well, it's not every day that a well-educated, wealthy benefactor comes seeking something specific. Tell me, what are your needs?
I am looking for... I don't know how to say it. He's looking for an incredibly smart child, either through intellect or through wisdom. He realizes that he needs someone to make him ships. So if he could also have a kid who sits there and whittles him the perfect ship for his spells, that would also do him well.
Excellent. She leads you to a room. As you wait outside, you can hear her snapping instructions inside for a little while before she comes out, opens the door, and lets you in. And you can see all the children lined up against all the walls in the room at full attention, sort of dressed in the same clothes. Nothing fancy again, pretty ordinary. And she will walk along.
Well-groomed, or...
They're as well-groomed as orphans can be when the orphans outnumber the caretakers 20 to 1.
Yeah.
So she'll walk down the list with you, and has a little stick in a hand. She'll slap the ankles of anyone who's not standing upright enough or who's got the jacket slightly out of place. And she will walk you through them all and point out the 5 of the 40 children assembled who might have the intellect and wisdom that you need.
Do you mind, my lady, if I ask them a few questions in a private room?
she dismisses the remainder of the children out to the backyard for an early recess, and then shuts the door and stands in the room with you and the 5 remaining.
Nilrem will size them up. Can you give me ages, I guess?
Yeah, we have an 8-year-old, an 11-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 14-year-old, and another 3-year-old.
I'll look to the lady and ask, how do you determine intellect when they're of such wee age?
These 2 have great potential, she says very flatly.
Okay. And Nilrem will, over the course of, I guess, he'll give each of them an hour. 30 minutes on the various tasks. He's looking for wisdom and intellect. I don't really know how you would give someone like a wisdom test. I guess he might ask them to whittle like their... He'll bring one of his small ships down. He'll put it on there. He'll give him a knife and he'll give him a piece of like wood and ask him to do their best. And he'll, I guess, determine off of that if that skill is something that...
Yeah. Artistic abilities are often tied to wisdom, so that works well. And let's see over here. The first one will have 9 int and 13 wisdom. The 11-year-old will have 13 int and 13 wisdom. It's pretty good.
Bad. That is pretty good.
The 3-year-old has 6 and 7, but like he's 3, that might be great potential, you know.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's still just a 3-year-old. The 14-year-old is actually dumb as a brick. Like 4 int and about 10 wisdom. Seems really out of place here. And the last 3-year-old is quite smart, very well spoken, surprisingly well put together, understands like the purpose of the test you're handing him. Even though he's only 3 years old, he has 7 int and 5 wisdom. This one shows
So
a
what
lot
am
of
I
promise.
thinking there? I guess it's a 3-year-old.
Well, it would probably take 10 years to get them to be a spellcasting apprentice, unless they're really good, in which case you might be able to get them some spells in 7 years?
Nilrem shrugs. There's nobody here, even with enough wisdom for him to care. He will thank the lady and thank the children for their time and begin his way out. I'll ask her, I guess, as I leave. Were there any children that you maybe adopted out that you feel like were exceptionally special? Maybe one that comes to mind?
She muses for a moment. No, not one of them. Unexceptional as a lot.
Nilrem nods. Thank you for your time.
Mm.
And I'll head out.
Wow. And out you go. John, meanwhile, is back at the tavern, having written his note.
That's right. It's finished. It's perfect.
I'm going to roll a charisma check because I want to know if I feel like she's lying. Sorry.
Okay. She's not lying, but she seems super strict and like everything needs to be in a tight order, and she's wearing a ring of Malchus, and she also seems kind of creepy and weird. There's definitely something off about the mistress at the orphanage, but she's not lying.
To find out, yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm back in the tavern. Has it just been a few hours? I've just finished writing the thing.
Yep. Looks pretty good.
Perfect. It's perfect. I stand up and I take my empty glass and make my way to the bar. Barkeep, I've finished. Please display this in the most central location you can find. I shall pay you handsomely for the privilege.
Yep. He takes it and he heads over to a corkboard and pins it up there next to a couple of other signs.
Does mine, does it pop? I'm willing to roll a check.
Yeah, I need you to make me a
yeah.
wisdom check.
This sounds like you're a child who just like drew a thing and now they're putting it on the fridge.
Well, we're not arguing for charisma, Neil. I feel like charisma would be a better
We
option
just talked
here.
about how artistic ability comes out of
This is
wisdom.
whiz.
That's okay. But it's not just artistic ability. It's also like, okay, fine. That's
Wait, how about we do both and then you take?
Oh,
it pops.
pops. It pops and locks.
Right.
Yeah.
I look at it there as the man pins it up and say, you know, do you think you could put it more in the center? Maybe move some of those other ones around?
He looks at you.
I can pay.
Pulls out the pin, moves it slightly, puts the pin back in, and begins to head back to the bar. When a sailor comes by and sort of rips it off the pin, holds it up, and goes, "Huh." He looks at you. You know who this Captain John is?
Only the best goddamn pirate this place has ever seen. Put that back up there, son. You can read with your eyes.
Pins it back up there.
Listen, can I
Plenty
buy you a drink?
of booty. Yeah. Are you Captain John?
I am Captain John. Come on, let me buy you a drink. What did you say your name was? You like
Mac.
booty, son. You
My
like
name
booty,
is-
Mac.
I mean, who doesn't?
That's right, everyone likes booty. Here, what are you drinking? Ale?
I'm drinking whatever you're buying.
Go. 2 ales, please, barkeep. And how much do I owe you for the notice board?
Barkeep just holds up, two fingers for you.
You give him 2 gold.
That is the wrong currency, but he accepts it.
Yeah.
I was about to ask, do you think you ever get to people with that? Like 2 fingers, they give them 2 silver instead of 2 copper? That probably. A lot.
Probably.
Probably the best way for a barkeep to ever do that. Because then if you get a fancy noble stumbling in, they'll be like, "Oh, here's 2 gold." You know?
Yeah, they'll be embarrassed, yeah.
Wow.
Genius.
Or Anton comes in and gives him like 2 mithril.
2 plat. Yeah, 2 mithril.
Good. Here you go, Mac. I slide him over the drink.
Macked with a T at the end of it.
Macked with a T. Nice. How'd you get here?
Well, that's a big question. You see, on the Sea of Life, Captain John, there's a lot of waves.
That's
It
true.
all starts back when I was just a wee lad working on my parents' fishing boat out of Nilrem. And he launches into a life story that takes a good 45 minutes.
I listen to it happily.
The long and short of
Will
it
probably show up.
is that he's always sort of hung out in the ocean. And he was recently picked up by pirates who lived near Therden's Rock and worked for them for a little bit until they sort of disbanded, and he made his way back to Milfaldur, fished for a little while, didn't really want to do it anymore, made his way to Weatherlight on a ship trying to load cargo on and off, got tired of doing that job, and has been looking for the right sailing job that speaks to him. He's tired of all the heavy lifting. He's tired of the fish smell. He wants money on the sea, but no one will give him any responsibility because he's just some lowly guy.
Oh, that's a fascinating story, Mac. I have to say, I've heard many a tale and many a bar across the land, but this one, it speaks to me. You're a man. You're going places. You kind of remind me of myself a little bit back in the day when I was younger. When I was just getting started, I can see a lot of myself in you, and I think you're just the man for the job. What do you say? You want a job?
I want a job. Yeah, well, where are we going?
Well, Mac, I'm afraid.
I don't want to do any, coastal raiding where my family is. You know that? I don't want to.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm currently. I look around. I lean in and whisper and say, "Well, actually, I've got a secret base hidden within the depths of the Dardanelles. Unbeknownst to any of the authorities there, we fly under the radar."
Get right out. No, I can smell bullshit from a mile away. Secret base in the Dardanelles, but you're over here recruiting. Where's the rest of your crew, huh? There's got to be 2. Where's what's the job, huh? What's the catch?
We're in the
Do I have to
Dardanelles,
buy
mates.
in? Do I have to pay you 100 gold for the right to be on your ship
no.
and then arrive tomorrow after your ship has sailed away?
There is a price, but not one that you pay in gold, or silver, or even copper for that. Not one you pay in coins. I mean, or like other things that are valuable. I mean, you pay with your soul, Mact. You pay with your soul.
What do you mean?
Well, I've made some deals. I've made deals with barons, with counts. I've even made deals with kings, but I made a deal with the devil, Mact. My soul. Well, let's just say it's currently on the table. And I need some people to fight by my side. But
To get your soul back?
that's right. It's a life of adventure and glory. And if we win, and when we win, the riches, the prestige will be unbound. You'll have islands to call your own, Mact. Not just a small hovel on some shitty fishing village, but a whole island could be yours. Now, what do you say? When this
I
place
think
kicks off,
you're 30% bullshit and 70% honest. I don't think I'm going to end up with an island of my own, but I think it's going to be a hell of an adventure. I'm on board.
That's right. That's the kind of ratio I was going for, about 30-70. That's right. Well, when this thing kicks off in 3 days' time, when the whole of this town is gathered here to hear me speak, I'm going to need someone to make sure the crowd doesn't get too overly anxious, pressing forward and that. You're going to have to be my security man whilst we're here in Weatherlight.
Yeah, I can do that. I think now is when Nilrem, drink in hand, arrives at the table, if he wants to arrive.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah, here you are, Nilrem.
Give the guy a look up and down.
Talking about strange deals. This is my wizard, Nilrem. Nilrem, this is Mact, our first recruit.
Is it
Welcome to the
true?
crew.
Is it true when you're a pirate you can just make up a last name for yourself? I've always wanted a last name. Damn.
No one
lie.
won't laugh. That's what he did.
Yeah?
That's what I did.
What's your last name?
Winters.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? What are you feeling for your last name?
Ruck.
Rock.
Mac Truck.
Mac Truck.
Okay.
Fuck it, why not? Yeah. Works. Well, Nilrem, let me tell you a few things about Nilrem. Don't get on his bad side. He's quick to anger and fast to act. But
No one will take a swig and I'll be like, yeah, because I'll fucking kill you if you do. And I'll laugh a little bit.
but let me tell you, he's a good guy to have on your side in a fight. So that's why we keep him around.
All right.
You're from
Sounds
this
great.
town, right? Nice.
One town over, Milfeldur. Mostly dwarves these days. Oh my god, these cyclops, they crawled out of the ground and started attacking the walls. Dude, this whole country is going to hell. Cyclops. Everywhere.
When's there going to be someone to come save this whole continent? That's why we peaced out.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna go. I think it's gonna go kaput. Trip to the Dardanelles away from here sounds fantastic.
Yeah, well, you said, I was just before Nilrem came back, you had asked why we didn't have a crew. Truth is that our last adventure out there on the open seas, we hijacked a military-grade vessel from, it came from Tide's End. And unfortunately, I made a deal with the crew that I couldn't see them. I wasn't going to just force them into service. So a lot of them, they've left and made their own way. But I need some more crew to take me back.
Well, I can do it. I can raise and lower sails. I can knot ropes. I can row if need be, although I'm kind of tired of that rowing shit. I can swab decks. I can climb ropes. I got a good eye.
Well, you might do a bit of rowing here and there, especially on the way back. But
Once we get there.
we've got some magic that means that maybe your rowing arm can stay nice and relaxed.
Great.
And I think John is enjoying lapping this up, so I will drink with Mac Rook for the rest of the day, really, unless Nilrem's got something that is important that we need to do.
I don't think so. He went to the orphanage here. He's probably going to go to the one in Redport, and then he's going to talk to the other guy, Merlin, before we kill him about so-and-so. Oh, and the reason that he said it is because their power waned when they got really far away, and they had to turn around. So he's thinking that there's no fucking way that the guy is going to know. Yeah. That's what Nilrem... That's where Nilrem's... That's why he felt comfortable saying it. Just a heads up for the chat.
Oh, I see. There's no way that Rohi would know that you said it.
There's no way that Rohi, he feels like will know that he said it because his power went to a minimum in a spot, he thinks. So,
Interesting. I think John would be interested in that if you mentioned it, but you probably don't.
I don't think he does.
So we've got other stuff to do, so we can skip ahead to the meeting with all the people, or if we've got other stuff that happens in Weatherlight, we can do
Why don't we
that.
take our first break right here, and when we come back, we will see who else you can recruit in Weatherlight. See you guys on the other side. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tides of Death. Our party is in Weatherlight. They're gathering new sailors.
Right.
Right. Well, are you going to get him here?
Yeah. It's 3 days in the future. I tell the barman that, like, I'm asking if we can, like, open the bar a bit early whenever I've set this time to be, so that I can have, like, a meeting here with people before. Or we can just do it outside the bar or something.
Just do it outside, because he's not opening the bar early for you. It's got to wake up, so grumble.
We do it outside. So what I want is I'm going to have, like, a little box, like just an upturned crate that I'm going to stand on. I'm going to have people gather in front. I'm going to have Mact and Nilrem sort of stood by my side. And then I'm going to speak to them. And then, yeah. So I wait, you know.
How loud is an alarm? How loud is an alarm spell?
Pretty loud, I think.
Let's see. It is... Alarm spell lets out a loud ringing that can be heard clearly within a 60-foot radius. Reduce the radius by 10 feet for each interposing door and 20 feet for each interposing wall. So if you're within 60 feet, you can definitely hear it clearly. If you're beyond 60 feet, I think it just becomes increasingly less clear.
Okay, never mind.
You can definitely hear it further than 60 feet, though, right?
Yeah, but I think 60 feet is there's
sense.
no question you can hear it.
Okay, I mean, he'll do it then. One of his spells, he'll do alarm, and he'll just cause it to go off to get people's attentions.
Ah, clever. Yeah. The alarm will ring, and all will gather.
Okay, I stand upon my soapbox. I've got Nilrem on one side, I've got Matt looking mean on the other. I clear my throat. Avast ye, seekers of adventure. Jexel surely shines upon you today, for you have ale in your hands. There's free drinks, right? And look in your loins. You find yourself before famed captain and feared pirate John Winters of the Crimson Fists, the Scourge of Solemn, the Devil of the Dardanelles.
Give him a nudge.
And the greatest pirate to ever pillage the shores of Arcadia. Wait, what's the nudge?
No, gives him another nudge. He'll whisper you. What about me?
I've got a script. Gets you at the end. If you seek a life of adventure, glory and riches, then you've come to the right place. Typically, I would only invite the most dangerous and the most fearsome pirates to join my crew. But today, you have a unique opportunity. My wizard and I here have recently come into possession of a military-grade ship from the armory of Tide's End. However, I lack the crew to man it. I'm desperate. I have space for up to 50 of you. You can man my vessel and return with me to my secret pirate base deep within the bowels of the Dardanelles. Recruits will be paid handsomely, treated well, and provided training in seafaring and martial matters from the best in the business. If you are refugees from the horrors of Gade Isle, fleeing the demons of Heatstroke, or just bored with a mundane life, then raise your hands, and my wizard here shall pick you from the crowd.
Wow, that's amazing. Give me a charisma check.
Okay.
How super amazing is it? You get 28 hands that shoot up.
Nilrem will go like Vanna White and pick people from the crowd.
Great. Now, we can have a little mini character building session where you grab some people and we roll some stats and we randomly determine some extra non-weapon proficiencies and we can sort of flesh out your crew right here. Or we can totally skip that and we can just say you pick some people and we'll deal with fleshing them out at a later date.
Let's pick some people and flesh them out later.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, you go through the crowd, you pick out of these 28, the half that you think are probably going to be better suited for this. So you get 14.
I think we need 20 people, right?
We need more. No, we need like 40 people, right?
Well, you have these 14 plus it was maybe 20 that stayed with you from the first crew. 23.
So 34.
Yeah, when you said we need 60, I thought you said.
60, I think, is your full crew size. So we've got 30, let's call it 37 right now. So you need another 23.
We could stick around, like... I'm honestly kind of disappointed in this group of people that more of them don't want to sign up after such a rousing speech. I guess they just came for the free drinks, those fucks.
Yeah. Well, also, it usually takes more than one moment to recruit some folks.
Yeah.
You could build off of this success.
We'll do it another day.
Yeah. I mean,
So
how many
after the
people were
theft-
walking by right here, right? It's got to be a small fraction of the good
the
sailors.
notice in the bar, right?
The one note, Captain.
One note
fine.
in
We'll do
one
it another
bar
day.
for 3 days. You gotta.
I got a good idea,
fine.
Captain. Let's go
Yeah,
hang out near the sheriff's office. That's gonna be where all the delinquents are coming out of, and then as people come out, we ask them.
Mact, why don't you go and hang out by the sheriff's office and have a word with any rapscallions coming out of there who look like they're at a loose end?
Aye, aye, Captain. And he scurries off.
No,
I think I know of a few people who might be interested, Captain. Let me go recruit a few more.
You're right, though. We should do another recruitment day. I say to the 13 that have come forward. It seems that you guys have made the right decision. Our ship is in the docks, and here I have your signing on bonus. And I'll give them all a gold coin. No, 10 silver coins. Give them all 10 silver coins.
They're excited. They take the coins.
I make sure that everyone else can see the very generous signing on bonus that you wouldn't usually get.
Yeah.
And I say, we'll be here for a few more days. Perhaps time for the rest of you to change your mind and see the light. For you can enjoy yourselves in the town or make your goodbyes, for we shall be leaving soon.
They will go make their goodbyes. And you can find...
Nilrem will head off, telling the captain he was going to go find some people, and he's going to go back to the orphanage. But he's going to go there at night. Okay? He has spider climb, and he has knock, so he should be able to, in his mind, spider climb in there into the kids' room and ask about. I am sure I saw all like 50 kids, right? There were some older ones, yeah?
Totally, yeah.
Okay, that's who we want. We want the older ones down on their luck, who've been rough and tumbling through the orphanage system, sadly, and I'm gonna give them a good life. They might not be the brightest, but they might be the burliest.
So that night, Nilrem is going to travel back to the orphanage.
Yeah, he'll just walk there. No need to be coy about it.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna fuck with him on the streets. He's pretty confident in himself, so yeah, he walks there.
Yeah, you make your way to the orphanage on the far side of town. It's surrounded by some trees. There's a little path that leads up to it. It's an old brick building, sort of worn down, only a single story. You can see the headmistress's office and the window in it. It's all darkened in there. You can see the front
window
door.
like wooden or?
It is like bricks of glass about a foot tall by about a foot wide.
Okay.
With like some trellising between them. You can see, what would have been the classroom that you saw earlier, and then the light on the far end of the building must be the dormitory. It must be where the kids sleep. Because it's still on. Or maybe it's where one of the staff sleeps. There's a light on the far side of the building.
Is there a chimney?
Yes, there are 4 chimneys scattered about on the rooftop.
Nilrem will cast Spider Climb on himself, which will last 9 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to climb up the building super fast, I assume.
Yeah, you scamper up to the roof
And-
instantly.
Santa Claus himself down the chimney.
How do you fit down the chimney?
I will. Well, I would have taken it large actually, so I'll do that. Can I not fit down the chimney?
No way.
Shitty
Not without
building.
making
Is
like
there
a shit ton of noise and like cursing and scraping and...
Shitty building. Is there anywhere for me to enter from the roof?
Let's make a die roll, see if it's your lucky day or not.
Feeling lucky.
It is not your lucky day. There are some worn areas of the roof, but nothing loose enough that you could pull it up and slip inside.
Okay. He will shimmy down the building upon seeing that and try the back door.
The back door is locked.
Okay. He will creep around like a creeper and look and see if he can find the dormitory.
Yes. The light that is on, you can sort of get a gentle view of it when you're close to the wall. And you can see that must be the headmistress's room, because she's up there sitting at a desk writing. But another window nearby that is darkened, you can like cup and view through and see that it is the dormitory. Double bunk beds stacked all over the place.
50 kids? Are any
Yes.
awake?
Give me... yeah. You'll see that one of them is like pulled the blanket up to their eyes and is staring at you.
I will pull out a few gold coins and like do small taps on the window and show it to him and like go like this.
Give them a morale check. See how terrified they are of the strange man with the golden coins who comes in the night and lures children away. Oh, killer morale on this kid. The kid hurries over to the window and finds a latch in the whole window, sort of like squeaks out.
How old is he?
This young girl is only 6 years old. She looks
Hello.
at you.
I say hello.
Hi,
Where
you're
did
the man from earlier.
I nod. Where do the older kids bunk?
Here, and she sort of like points to this room.
Nilrem will step in, handing her one gold piece that he takes off his sheet. Probably more wealth than she's ever seen in her life.
Yep.
I'll whisper to her, you need to hide this and keep it from all the other kids. Don't even let the headmistress know about this. This might get you out of a jam one. And I will go over and, with a very low voice, I'm trying to not be loud. And I know the walls aren't very good here. I will gather the kids, pushing them and like waking them and like telling them shush and like telling them to follow. Tell me if anybody does anything crazy.
Well, let's see. The first few will be the telling few.
I'm probably gonna, sorry, let me say it this way. I'm gonna wake up the biggest kid. I'm gonna tell him what's going on, and I'm gonna tell him to get the other kids and come have a chat with me. And I'll hand him a gold piece.
How old is Nilrem?
19.
Old enough to
Okay.
know better.
Old enough to know
old
better.
enough to know better.
But still young enough that they might see him as like a large adolescent and not as like a...
Not a creepy old 40-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not like some aged man walking in here. You could be an orphan who just got away recently.
Yeah.
They have a little empathy for your oddities, and surprisingly, with good dice rolls on your side, soon the children will be assembled. Some of them look absolutely scared shitless. Most of them seem kind of confused and like, why the fuck am I awake right now? I'm supposed to be asleep.
I will speak to them. I assume they'll come out with me out into the... Will they come out of the window with me? Like, I don't know if there's a tree nearby that we can show at.
I mean,
If not, we can talk in the room.
Yeah, you could probably coax them outside, but
We'll talk in the room.
yeah.
Greetings. My name is Nilrem. I was once just like each and every one of you. However, I have come tonight to offer you guys a chance of a lifetime. I am a pirate. A pirate wizard, in fact. And me and my captain are here in his old stomping grounds recruiting for our new mission. And because I'm such a generous soul, I thought that a few of you might be interested and want to leave this life behind. Would anyone like to join us and set sail for the Dardanelles and start anew? This will be a life of piracy and, you know, do freedom, doing whatever you want. You can have a last name if you choose. You can be noble. And he'll pull out the gold and say, everybody who comes with me willingly, I will give 1 gold to as a sign-on bonus.
You get absolutely 0 replies or responses in the affirmative. They all just sort of stare at you
wait for them
weird.
to listen. Yeah, he'll wait. See if anybody says anything, anybody speaks up.
Not a 1. The dice are not with you today.
Fine. Nilrem is confident in sitting there and staring at them until somebody speaks.
Eventually, the oldest child in the room, this guy's got to be like 16 or something, breaks. And he says, "Can we go back to bed now?"
Nilrem will look at him. You would rather be an orphan forever? Destined to be poor than join?
Can't bring my parents back, right?
Well,
Once an orphan, always an orphan. That's what the headmistress says.
that might be what she says, but my crew were more like family. See, I didn't have anybody before I found them, and now I have 4 people that I'd call brothers. Archie, his name's John, Sale, and our monkey, Seymour. If you join us, you'll finally have a family. I know it can't bring your parents back, but it might be the next best thing.
One of them speaks up and says, "Lady Mildred says this is our family."
I'll ask him, do you feel like this is a family? Do you feel at home here?
Yeah, they say uncertainly.
Well, I'm not going to force any of you to come here.
Another kid speaks up and says, "We should ask Malchus."
No one will smile at that. Yeah, it's a great idea. Let's get together in a circle and ask Malchus. Go ahead.
The whole pack of kids hurriedly run to the far side of the room, where one of them lights a candle, and you can see that there is a shrine to Malchus set up here in the orphanage, and they quickly form a 3-ringed circle of people who are sitting, kneeling, and standing in front of this altar of Malchus with his symbol engraved on the floor and the wall in front of them. This is
Nilrem
something that they
will
must practice all the time.
Put his hand in his robe and thumb a crystal rod, a glass rod.
Uh-huh.
I'm waiting.
They begin a prayer to Malchus, a very formal, rictualized, the great father before us who created all humans, Malchus, the one who sets us free, who guides us through our lostness. Please help guide us and give us wisdom for our next course of action. And then one of the kids steps forward and sprinkles some sand in front of the candles, which flare a little bit, and says, "Malchus, Malchus, should we go with this strange man?" And the candles sort of flicker and flutter. And he looks back to you and goes, I don't know how to interpret the flames. Lady Mildred always says what it means.
Oh, just ask again. He loves being channeled.
Hey, try it again.
And I'll
Malchus,
tell him,
Malchus.
I'll say, all of you kids, you should all chant his name. And Nilrem at this point will probably start to head for the window.
Mm-hmm. The children are loudly praying to Malchus in their 3-ringed circle, tossing burning sand into the flames. What do you do with the rod when you get to the window?
He holds it for a minute, okay?
Mm-hmm. Malchus, Malchus, father ahead, show us the way. What should we do?
Malchus really pissed Nilrem off in the past. And now Malchus has a whole fucking crew of children here worshiping him. Nilrem's not too fucking happy with this, but don't think he's going to lightning bolt a bunch of kids. So, Nilrem will step out of the window.
Much easier to just magic missile him, really.
Yeah, I didn't take that. It would have been easier, yeah.
A lot of magic missiles, you know? Like 50 of these buggers.
All right, I'm the greatest wizard alive. I need you to tell me if this will work. Is it raining? What's the weather like today? Is it sunny?
Well, it's nighttime, so it's dark, but it is not overcast. It's like partially cloudy. You can see most of the stars in the sky.
Okay. Not going to kill the kids. However, if you cast a web spell and you lightning bolted the web spell, the web spell should catch on fire, yes?
Okay. Yes. If you cast a
Fair
web
enough.
spell into a building that has torches and candles and fireplaces roaring, the webs will also catch on fire. Casting it inside city limits, especially inside of buildings, is a very dangerous thing.
I nod. Nilrem leaves. He thinks about it. He thinks if this is how he wants to get his revenge on Malchus. He says, fuck that. And he just heads out. None of the kids wanted to join. That's
Great.
I would like to. Okay, two things. My 13 recruits. I want to like write out some little like business card kind of things that just say adventure, riches, glory on one side, and then when you turn them over, it says like a location and a time in 3 days. So I want to have them making these, right? And then I also want to find like someone who's willing to paint my poster, but on like a wall of a building. Right. And then
You're gonna now. John is a wise enough pirate to know that you can't paint "Pirates Wanted" on the side of a building without getting yourself in serious trouble with the law.
yeah. Well, okay. Two things. This is a pirate town. That's the thing that's already been established. It's not like I'm not saying it's like a pirate fort or whatever, but there's pirates here. So the authorities are already kind of turning a blind eye to pirates. And two, the post doesn't say pirates. It just says looking for crew for adventure, right?
Looking for crew for adventure. That's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. I just want to make sure it doesn't say, hiring pirates. There might be pirates that work out of Weatherlight, but they usually try to keep as low of a profile as possible,
But it's kind of like thieves can't, but pirates can't. There's enough
Sure.
clues in the poster
Yeah.
without outright saying it. But this is what I'm envisioning. In 3 days' time, there's been this mural on a wall somewhere. I'm going to buy a shitload of beer so that I can have my guys like handing out the beer to people in the crowd. I'm going to have like Nilrem using spells to be like, free beer, like people. I want a crowd, and I'm going to re-deliver my speech. And this time, we're going to get all the crew we need.
Okay, now we're advertising to the whole town. We're painting on buildings. We're passing out free beer. You are sure to get a large group of people coming to you this time.
Yeah.
But you're going to get a large group of people coming to you this time, Nick. You are going to have not just sailors, you're going to have onlookers, anyone who just wants a free beer. You're definitely going to end up with like a certain amount of town guard who have arrived because something is happening in town that no one knows about. And someone should be there to keep an eye on it. There'll be a couple of knights around.
They can have some beer as well. Yeah.
Yeah, there are going to be some nobles who are parked out in upper story windows looking down at what is this interesting little peasant gathering that's happening over here. Oh, look, the seamen are up to something. Oh, we should go watch and see what they're doing. So this is going to be a bit of an event.
This is exactly what I was envisioning the first time. I want an event. And
I
Yeah.
able to
wanna,
get
like,
new spells because it's a new day.
Yeah,
yeah,
this will be a couple.
this will be in like 2 or 3 days' time.
Okay.
Yeah, you will have a crowd of maybe 2,000 people gathered here. That must be half the town population.
Oh,
What's the coolest
2,000.
spell I can
Yes.
Oh, shit. Nilrem, is there any way that you can make me louder?
cast? Yes. I got you. Worry not.
Amazing.
Nilrem
So-
will enlarge you by 60%.
Ah, yeah, so cool. So I will do the speech again. I'll happily do it again if you guys like, but it's mostly the same as before. But I deliver it in the most impressive and enticing way that I possibly can. And then I'm assuming now we can be a little bit more picky about who we're going to take because
No
hopefully some
normal
more.
lookout is the orphanage lady there.
Yes. Yes. If you've got time to pick out the crowd because you're here watching it gather for a little while before he gives a speech. And so with that amount of time, you can pick her out in the crowd. She is certainly here. And behind her, in like a little gaggle, all holding a single rope, is the crowd of 50 children, plus the other 2 people who work there, the what'd you call them, the cook and the other caretaker. They're all here, and all the children are holding one rope in the crowd.
Normal will whisper to the captain that he has to go and do something, and he'll run off as
Yeah,
the captain's doing his speech.
Well, it's probably before maybe. People are gathering,
Do you want to do it while the speech is happening, or do you want to just do it when it's convenient?
I'm going to do it while the speech is happening,
okay,
because it's semi-time important.
Got it.
He's going to the orphanage place, and he is going to go and check the lady's desk. He doesn't feel there's some right shit going on here.
Gotcha.
He's going to go sack that place. And if you
Alright.
need, he has knock.
Well, Nick, I want you to
Yes.
make me a charisma check at advantage this time, because you've given this speech before, and now you're more prepared. You've got this.
Yeah, I have got this. Okay. Ooh. Okay, I'll take a 34.
A 34, and we have 2,000 people. 34 times 20. You will get 60 volunteers when this is done. And as you're looking out over this crowd of 60 volunteers, you'll see that not all of them are sailors, right? Some of these are local townsfolk who have heard the call to adventure that you would have to train. Some of them are proper sailors.
I will get rid of anyone who looks like they wouldn't make it. Like they're just not quite out for it in terms of their constitution, if you know what I mean. Like they'd be thrown up on the ship and that they'd want to give up.
Yeah, you
But even if
quickly
someone's
trim
not, like,
20
trained-
weaklings.
But even if they're not like trained sailors or whatever, I'll still take them. Okay, so I get about 40 people then.
Yeah,
plus the
you
13
trim it
from before,
plus the
Matt.
14 from before, plus Matt, Ruck, and the 23 that were on the ship previously. So 15 and 23 is 38, and 40 is 78.
Great, more than enough people. And the ship's not gonna. The ship can carry that many people, right?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
And there is some wisdom in having more
Extra
people
crew.
than you need. Yeah, extra crew can be useful, especially if you're going to be pirating.
Okay, I will splash out another 400 silver to pay you their signing on bonuses. 9,000. Great. And I will direct them to the ship, and they can make themselves comfortable. We're going to be leaving in the morning.
And as this is beginning to wind down, who should wander over to you but the sheriff of the city, of the town?
Okay, so I'm probably like making a joke with some people and exchanging stories when the sheriff is behind me. Oh,
Yeah. She's 5'8", 126 pounds, 36 years old, and you can see she wears an amulet of Tempos around her neck. And she's got 2 town guard on either side of her.
I start looking around for Nilrem.
He's nowhere to be seen. Her chainmail glints in the light. Her sword's at her side. She's got a squire a few feet behind her with a shield. Why,
You
hello
here for a free
there.
drink? We've still got a bit of beer left over if you guys want one.
You must be the famous Captain John Winters.
Guilty as charged.
Where's the ship, Captain John Winters?
In the dock.
Would
my
you
docking
please
fees are paid up.
hand over anything that one might need in order to operate, equip, man, or own the ship?
Excuse me? This isn't... I thought this was the free lands of Eridon. I'm used to this kind of treatment in the Dardanelles. Am I not allowed to dock a ship here?
Stolen ships? Certainly not. They must be reclaimed for their rightful owners.
Well, I'm afraid I don't know where any stolen ships are, so...
We've I've talked to a couple of people who attended your last gathering. Heard some stories about you. They say
Well-
that you took this ship from someone on the high seas.
Can we go somewhere a bit private? I've got a reputation to
I
uphold
think this
here.
is a great place to have a conversation, don't you? And she
Listen,
kind of
you-
makes a motion with her shoulders, and her guards begin to like surround you. Not at like an
Okay.
uncomfortable distance, but you know they've
Yeah.
one behind you, one on each of your sides.
Listen, I'm a showman. A man's got to have stories. You know, I was talking to rapscallions, the ruffians from the fishbowl. Of course, I ammed up how I found the ship. Alas, the real story is not quite as exciting as you make it out to be.
Maybe we should go somewhere to have a more quiet conversation. Follow me. And she turns on her heel and starts walking through the streets. And you feel someone sort of bump you from behind.
Yeah, I mean, are my guys coming with me or what? Like I go to walk off with them, but there's, you know.
You've got some
got-
crew members. There is a following who's like, this is part 2 of the exciting day in the market. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on? And is this guy for real? Is this all a bunch of show? Is he going to get arrested? We have to know. We got to know. And so they follow with you while
Okay.
Nilrem sneaks off to the orphanage. We'll get to the orphanage in just a minute. She walks you
Everyone would have
down
loved this as well.
the main city
No one would have
streets.
loved this.
Brings you to the sheriff's station, holds the door open for you as her men bump you inside, leaving 2 outside to keep the crowd at bay. Sits down at a nice, cozy table. Says, well, Captain John Winters.
That's
Is that always your name?
Not always, no. But it's been that way for a while. Listen, I'm not sure what's going on here. And most certainly, I've run afoul of the laws of many lands. But I'm not aware that I've broke any laws here in Eridon this day.
Good
I don't
rumor
think
has it that you stole the ship. Isn't that worth a
Well,
chat?
It's worth a chat, but can one really steal a ship in the open ocean? Do the laws of man and the land really apply out there on the high seas? Not that I did steal a ship, but let's say even if I had.
Theft of a ship is theft of a ship.
Indeed it is. But that doesn't mean that any old sheriff can arrest me for it and claim my wares for their own.
Could return stolen property to its rightful owner. Could seize it as a tool of the criminal trade. You know, civil asset forfeiture is a strong practice alive today.
Yeah, I get it. All right, how much is this going to cost me?
Are you trying to bribe me?
Well, I was just trying to skip the foreplay, but no. Ask away. I'll happily answer your question, Sheriff. What's your name?
Sheriff Nottingham.
Sheriff Nottingham. Well, sure. Please ask your questions. I'll be happily to answer them. I tell you, I've been traveling in the Dardanelles for the last year, and I'm used to the scrutiny there. It's unbelievable. It's like nothing you've ever seen.
You say that you're taking a bunch of people and off for an adventure far away from here.
That's right.
And this is not a stolen ship.
This is not a stolen ship. No, it was agreed to be handed over to me.
Well, for what purpose?
It was just in the best interest of both parties that I captained the ship going forward.
Who was the former captain?
The former captain was a lovely lady. Didn't look too different to yourself. We were eating dinner, and unfortunately, events transpired, and situations changed, and she was no longer in a position to captain her ship going forward. And so her crew and my crew that were there agreed that the best way forward was for me to captain the ship, bring it to land, allow the crew that wanted to leave, and those that wanted to stay, and everyone would be on their merry way.
You know, it sounds a lot like a story that we've heard. Although not so much man meets beautiful woman on the sea, gets the better position of her, and she gives him her ship. Not quite in that detail. And where are you going with all these sailors? Are you...
Back to the Dardanelles.
You sure you're not staying in Arcadia?
I won't be staying in Arcadia, no.
Why not? What's wrong with Arcadia?
I have business interests in the Dardanelles. I've been in Arcadia. You'll recognize from my accent. I spent quite a long time in Weatherlight. In fact, I think I've fell afoul of your predecessor once or twice in my youth in this very city. But no, my time in Arcadia has ended for now, at least, and I'm facing a new chapter out in
What's wrong with Arcadia? Why aren't you going to seek adventure along our coastlines here? There's plenty of wealth to be had, legal and illegal.
That's true, yeah. I don't know if you've noticed Nottingham, but there's a few headwinds to that kind of plan at the moment in Arcadia. I would first of all point you to the east in the city of Heatstroke, where there is currently, and I don't exaggerate this, I've seen it. Well, I've not seen it, but I've heard someone who spoke to someone who sort of kind of saw it, said that the ground grows with flesh, and the eyes of great beasts look out from beneath it, spying on any who dare walk on its surface. Now,
So it's too dangerous here for you.
Well, I'm not finished. Okay. To the southwest lies a great and fearsome red dragon, burning cities to asunder by its whim, with not a man or woman in the whole continent who can stand against it. I think the Dardanelles, on the other hand, is a very well-run place. You know, every island has its own town guard, its own sheriff. The law and order there is of the utmost priority. I'm not saying that you would have taken a bribe, Nottingham, but I can tell you this: there's not a single sheriff in the Dardanelles that would take a bribe.
Well then.
You might like it, you know, if you're bored here. Someone
No.
like you, I could
She
do
gets
with
up
someone
and
like you.
Pats your shoulder a few times and sort of helps pull you up by your collar, walks you back towards the jail cells, and goes, I think I've got some new recruits for you then. And she points to these 3 overcrowded jail cells. They look like they're each meant to hold maybe 2 people, but each one's holding 5.
These lot?
Yep.
You don't want him?
Let's just say there's some problems with the judicial system. Can't execute people when there's no king or queen around. Can't let them go. But they can join you in the Dardanelles.
Okay, what did they do?
I mean, unless your ship was stolen and needs to be confiscated immediately.
No, of course not. No, I'd be happy to do the people of Weatherlight a favor. But may I ask these men and women here, what is it they did exactly?
Pickpocket, thief, murderer, suspected serial killer. Can't quite prove it though. Almost caught him red-handed. Blood on the hands, but there's a dead chicken nearby. Hard to tell. Let's see. Burglar, kidnapper. Oh, I think that one back there shanked an old woman for some coins in the street. So mugger, I think, is the right term.
The old woman survived?
Yes. Gods be praised.
That's something I supposed, yeah. Well, listen, I've made friends with worse. I suppose I looked them up and down. It wouldn't do me too much harm.
They kind of smell. They're unclean. They're unwashed. They've been here a long time. Everyone's staring at you. Some guys are giving you like mean looks with their teeth sticking out. Someone else is like completely missing an eye, but they put like a small like egg in where the eye would be, and they kind of like rotate the egg around so the spots can rotate through. They look like a mean lot.
Nottingham, can I have a chat? In private.
She walks back to the desk and sits down. The prisoners are sort of in earshot. If you're quiet, they won't hear you.
I can see the predicament that you've got here. I sympathize. Now, I'm not sure that all of these people here are going to be fit for my crew, especially not in their current state. Let's talk about a couple of things here.
You might have to get rid of them on an island on the way there, yeah.
Can we get a few buckets of water and clean them up? Is that something we can manage before they leave here?
Yeah.
And to the point you just made, I think that makes me feel a lot better, actually. If they were to get... Because people like this, you can't trust them. Maybe they won't come back in time. Maybe we'll have to leave without them. Maybe they'll get lost.
She shrugs. Once they're out of the city and not coming back, it's no longer my concern what happens to them. My responsibility ends to the taxpayer.
Well, we have a deal. I offer to shake her hand.
She stands up and shakes her hand. Glad we have a deal.
May I go and address them?
Please. She heads over to the other people and has them get some buckets, and they'll bring in cold water and splash them down.
Listen, you lot. You filthy. You scum of the earth. The things you've done. By all accounts, you should be rotting in the lowest dungeon in all the lands. But today is your lucky day. For Jexel, Martha, and all the gods shine their light down upon you, and they have brought me, your savior, to rescue you from this dreary existence you face. I have an offer for you. You can stay here and rot in this jail cell until the end of your days, or you can pledge right now to commit your life to me and my ship and come with me on a great adventure to redeem yourselves, your family name, make glory, riches, and have great adventures. What do you say?
A woman kind of screeches from the back. How big's your ship, boy?
Big enough. Never had any complaints.
I seen bigger. She calls out.
Yeah, perhaps you have. I wouldn't doubt it.
That sort of sends a chuckle through the rest of everyone else. And yeah, one by one. Yeah, you're sure. I'll join.
Fantastic.
They all seem pretty excited, except for the one screechy woman in the back who, as everyone gets washed up and comes out of the cells, lays across the bench at the back of her cell. She's got kind of a crooked nose. Her hair's all wiry and gross. She's got a really nasty attitude, and she looks you up and down with her teeth falling out, doing the I'm checking you out, looking you up and down, but it's really off-putting.
Yeah, it's a bit creepy.
Yeah.
Is she not coming, this one?
She's sort of lounging and watching, soaking wet from when buckets of water were tossed at her.
Right.
You like what you see, baby? She crones at you.
Sheriff, maybe you could keep this one?
Nope. Can't wait to get rid of this one.
I tell you what, love. Not really my type, but I know a couple of people that...
Oh, come on, sweetie. You know you want it.
I'm afraid not. But like I said, there's plenty of men on the ship who've, well, to put it in politely, they're desperate. So I'm sure you'll find work, and I'll pay you anyway. So close your legs and stand up.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. And she hops up, and she's got these heavy skirts that she wears. She brings them up a little bit and gives you a kind of a crude curtsy. Walks past you out the door, and then slips an arm around your waist and says, "Come on, Captain. Why don't you take me to the big chambers?"
All right, let's go. I will. Once I get out of the sheriff's office, I scope out the first one of my crew guys that are still there. Get this woman away. Clean her up.
The guy takes a look at her, looks at you, looks at her, kind of grumbles and offers to help her out. She snaps at him for trying to take her away. Seems to have a real nasty attitude, this one.
Yeah. Well, I get away from her. I break away from her, and I'll turn around and address the freed prisoners and the men that were there and say, "All right, these are also joining the crew. Now, a lot of you, just because the rest of them weren't behind bars doesn't mean that they ain't never done anything wrong in their life. And this is a fresh start. I'm not going to judge you for what you've done in the past, as long as you're loyal now and you follow my rules. You don't make a fool of me when we're on land. And then you've got my blessing until the day you lose it. Is that a deal?"
It's a deal. Everyone's on board.
All right, and then I take everyone back to the ship basically and get everyone ready. We'll be leaving in the morning, so find somewhere to sleep, get comfortable, find a job you can actually do. I'm going to be coming around on the deck in the morning before we leave, making sure everyone's got something useful to do. So if you can't, raise a sail. If you can't, be a lookout and find something to clean.
Excellent. Everyone goes to work.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, on the other side of town, far away from all of these shenanigans, Nilrem finds himself at the
Quite quiet.
orphanage.
Right?
Oh yeah,
The
this
town?
side of town's super quiet. Half the town's emptied out to the docks right now. There ain't nothing happening over here.
Nilrem grabs the door. He assumes
Mhm.
it's locked.
Yes, it is locked.
It's a shitty building, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and just break the door.
Make me an open doors check, yeah.
Is that a D20?
It is a D20. You want your open doors check or lower? So you want low?
Okay, I fucked it up.
Yep.
So he is going to then instead just use knock,
Oof. The door knocks open.
and he goes inside. He knows where the room is. He goes right there.
Yep, you make your way to the headmistress's office. The door to it is unlocked. You can walk on in. It's a small room. There's a single bed in here as well.
Are
Little
there
table.
torches on or candles on, or is it just completely dark?
No, it's there's some light coming in through the window, but that's it.
Okay.
It's dingy.
Nilrem is going to ransack the office.
Yeah. You find a bunch of crap related to the management of the office, right? Just, we've got this many children, this many beds, here's some requisition forms for food and water, blah, blah, blah. Who gives a shit? You will find a box with donations that have been made. There are 20 gold coins, 50 silver coins, and 1,000 copper coins in here.
Okay, I take all that.
Even the 1,000 copper, that weighs like 20 pounds. It's going to be a heavy load.
Copper.
Okay, cool. Let's see. What else will you find in here? She is wearing her amulet of Malchus. But you will find a small prayer book tucked in the bottom drawer, next to some candles and some specialty sages and mints and effervescent herbs. There's some multicolored sand down here and some other candles that have been wrapped in parchment that look fancier, or they're like kept in parchment at the bottom of everything.
That were in parchment?
Yeah, they got to be meaningful.
I take the book.
Mm-hmm.
The multicolored sand, do I believe that this could be color spray sand? Or no?
You could use it for color spray sand.
How many castings is there?
50.
Can I take 50 castings worth and put them in my magic robes?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to search for hidden spaces because Nilrem's going to feel like there's more going on here because it's a crazy old, Malchus lady.
Well, that's a good idea. And you will find some loose floorboards that come up right underneath the desk. The desk is positioned in such a way that you have to move it to get to the loose floorboards. You can pop those open and up. Inside are some parchments that are rolled up with some writing on it that is not in the common tongue.
I don't think he looks at anything right now for the parchments. I think he's shoving it into his extra dimensional room.
Got it. You just start shoving things away.
But tell me if I see anything other than paper, I guess.
Yeah, you come across 3 gemstones made out of 3 emeralds, each worth 100 GP.
Let me shove that on the sheet. What else do I want to put on the sheet? I have Malchus, diary, or prayer book.
Prayer book, yeah.
And then
ceremonial candles, emeralds,
the gems, and then what about the papers? What do you want me to denote them as so I can read them later?
Weatherlight orphanage papers.
Okay.
Yep.
And I will now cast web in the place that I think best to burn the building down.
It'll be an easy thing. All you need is a candle lit somewhere in the place. So you can light a candle, leave it somewhere, step out of the building, cast web, and all the little fabrics will go up in flames. I think the bunk room is probably the best place to do it. The walls are brick, but in here there's enough bedding and clothing and dressers and boxes that it'll go up, and the roof will go up, and the whole building will burn down this afternoon while John is at the sheriff's office.
Burn the building down, smile, and wish the children of Malchus well in this chaotic event that he's created for them.
He must love that.
The captain. Oh, he must.
Okay. You'll get back to the captain. He's got a whole new crew with him. There are an additional 45 optional sailors now. So our total crew is up to 123 people. 123 people.
Damn.
Nilrem will hand over the 3 gemstones to the captain.
Nilrem, where'd you get these?
Do you really want to know?
Nothing to do with that over there, is that? I say, motioning towards the smoke rising in the distance.
Nilrem will look at him sterner. Do you really want to know?
Then perhaps we should leave. All right, hoist the sails, lift the anchor, let's go.
Everyone hurries onto the boat, and off we sail as alarm bells ring through the town and people run with buckets. Luckily, the orphanage is set far enough away from everything that it's not going to threaten the rest of the town, but it will burn down, and those children with no parents will have no roof over their head.
Who would do this?
These gems, Nilrem, are you really like giving them to me? To like as loot?
He'll give you 2 of them, and he's gonna keep one in case he ever needs to put like a permanent beacon on it or for a spell. But yeah, you can have them 2 of them as loot. I'll take them off my skill sheet.
Okay.
And he is going to find one person out of the 130 to help him make sense of the orphan papers. You said it was in a language I didn't know.
Yeah.
I assume someone's gonna know it.
Well, why don't we find out on the other side of our break when we come back with more...
Just before we go. Sorry. The person who's the serial killer, I note that person.
Oh, yeah.
I tell Nilrem this person's potentially a serial killer, and I get like the bareliest of the initial group of recruits and point them out, like keep an eye on that person. Because if they are a serial killer, I'm throwing them overboard. But for now, we're just going to watch them if they do anything sketch. Okay,
Got it. We'll find out more on the other side of the break. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tides of Death. Our party sets forth, keeping one eye on the serial killer, one eye on the sea, and one eye on the horrid hag who is really annoying.
That's right. I've just had a great thought about the horrid hag, though. I mean, I just feel like she would be the perfect woman for Wiley. So we're going to try and keep her and bring her back to the base for Wiley as a bonus.
For him.
Yeah, for him.
Oh no, what have I gotten myself into?
Now
I
you're gonna
created
have to roleplay
her.
it with yourself.
I created her so you'd get rid of her. It'd be funny, but this is the darkest timeline I could think of.
Yeah. Well, you play with fire and get burnt, Neil.
You bastard. All right. Where are we going, party? We are leaving Weatherlight. Heading...
What, a Redport?
Or Redport.
No.
Papers,
We've got to sell a horse, right, in Hillsborough.
Clydesdale.
No, because we're going to try and sell it to the Baron in Hillsborough, I thought.
That's probably right.
Yeah.
Hillsborough, then Redport.
And then we can go
have to
back,
to
yeah.
Redport.
Yeah, we'll do... I think we'll do...
It's on the way.
Hopefully we'll do this bit quite quickly, and then we can spend a bit more time in Redport doing your wizard thing.
All right. Well,
Did the Weatherlight orphan papers say anything? Could anybody help me read them?
The papers. You're on the boat, and you ask around people to see if they recognize the language. And someone recognizes it. In fact, you probably recognize it as Dwarvish. You don't speak it. Someone else here does read some Dwarven, and looking at it, they'll tell you that it's gibberish. It looks like, how would you say, like just like someone practicing various letters at random. There's not even like any spacing or punctuation. It's just sort of like weird Dwarven script that means nothing, not even full words, just like letters.
Normal. Cast detect magic on it one day. It's magical.
It is not magical.
Really interesting.
Yeah. What do you think this might be? What ideas do you have?
He thought it was a magic spell.
Mm-hmm.
Now he assumes it's like Thieves' Cant.
Some sort of like script or cipher or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll look through the prayer book. Does he see anything?
Yeah.
Like a code?
There's not a code out in it exactly, But this isn't just like, here are Malchus's top 10 favorite prayers. You know, it's not, that's what I call Malchus Prayers 30. This looks a little bit more like a guidebook for how to get people to not believe in Malchus, because he's clearly real, but how to get people to like follow Malchus. This seems more like an indoctrination pamphlet or a cult starting kit 101 or something like that.
Okay. So this isn't, he doesn't feel like this is the clue to the cipher.
Probably not, although maybe it's written within here somewhere, but it's not like clearly spelled out at the back of the book. But that prayer that the kids were doing around the thing, this clearly talks about how like you want to get them smallest in front, middle, back this way. We stack them in this way in order to create like a sense of hierarchy, but also a sense of purpose. We go through these simple prayers because they can be remembered, but they also have an effect of implicitly implying that this is like the higher power and that this is the lower power, and it sets the conversational tone about this. And there's, you know, a note about how these sorts of things are best done with people who are desperate and down on their luck. There's something going on there, but it's Weatherlight's problem, not yours. The Dwarven script, we'll have to keep an eye out for something. Maybe when you've got like days to dedicate to the project, we can make some intelligence checks or something. Yeah.
Normal, yeah. How long is the sailing? It's like a few days.
Yeah, it's like a day and a half, and you're going to be busy with all the new folks on board.
Okay.
All right. In Hillsborough, we arrive. Step out into the town. Dwarves and small people afoot all over the place. Humans running about. Guards moving this way and that. The walls are manned. The docks are stone and large, and there are a great many vessels stopped here. Some of them look like they've been in a bad state. Some of them look like they've been recently attacked, like they're being pulled out to do repairs. There are all sorts of languages being spoken. You don't recognize some of them you do recognize, but it's a busy, busy place. John, you've been here before at some point in time, and Hillsborough is way busier than the last time you were here. Like, this place isn't normally so jammed packed with stuff going on.
It looks like they're in like some bad stuff's happened, it looks like.
Yeah. Ships have definitely been damaged. There's either more guards right now, or they're just making a bigger presence in the dock right now, but like, and there's just too many people. Something is afoot.
I'm worried that their lord is not going to be in a position to buy this horse right now, if there's some crazy shit going on.
Well,
Nilrem, what do you think?
Well, let's find out what's going on first. Lords are always willing to throw money around, even when they have none.
Listen, I'm gonna find out of this bunch of rapscallions here a couple that can sort of act as if maybe they aren't dragged up by their heels through, like, you know, a field of mud, and get them dressed up. You know, make them look a bit more presentable, and we'll present ourselves as merchants. When you go and try and figure out what's going on, and meet me back at the ship, like at sundown, and then once they're sorted out tomorrow, we'll give it a go. If it makes sense.
Makes perfect sense.
Okay. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go. I mean, I've spoken to them a bunch already. I'm going to find like 2 of them that I feel like have better accents. Like they're not like dirt poor. They've been raised right. They understand manners and stuff like that. And then I want to go out and get them like clothes that would be fitting to sort of like a manservant kind of, you know.
Great. I'm going to ask you to roll me. How you wanted two sets of stats, and we're gonna just like start to slowly fill out some of these background characters. If you do bracket 3d6 bracket, it'll roll like that in line to make it a little bit easier.
Okay.
So like that, but minus the spaces.
Okay. Close brackets. Yeah, close brackets not. And what? Do it 6 times.
Yeah, you can just do them with a space in between them.
With a space, okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for perception as well.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Ooh, that's not bad at all. And the second set?
Ooh.
Okay, and you're looking for the ones that are... This is the more charismatic bunch that you're grabbing, right? The one
Not
that
just
can,
charismatic, but maybe they grew up like in a noble household and they can put on a bit of a, you know, they understand like mannerisms and like I'm trying to think of the word, like you know, like to be a bit posh, you know, like they're not rude, basically.
Okay, so not someone who like might have been a servant in their former life, then.
Well, that would work too.
Okay,
But just
one of them
someone
was
who can
definitely a servant.
reasonably act. Okay, yeah.
And the other
Maybe it's just a bit of a.
is just a bit of a con man. Yeah, it's just a bit of a swindler, bit of a heckler.
Sweet.
Okay.
So, all right, you two. We're going to be posing here as we're trying to sell a horse. I don't know if you've seen it down in the bottom of the ship, but we're trying to sell it to the local lord here, or maybe just some other rich fucker. So we're going to go out into the market. We're going to get you guys some clothes, make you look like manservants or whatever. I'm going to be the merchant. We're going to take the horse. We're going to try and sell it, but I'm going to need two people on their best behavior. You know, they look like they fit in, can play the part, make it look like we're legit.
Excellent.
Etiquette. That's the word I was thinking about.
All right. All right. So our former lady's maid is named Psyche, Psychie. And
I assume you're making a note of that, yeah?
Yeah, I'm making some character sheets that I'll make available to all of us. And our former con man, maybe still con man, is going to be named, unless you want to name him yourself, either of you.
Well,
Oh wait, isn't there a list of names?
See a big list of names somewhere.
Yeah.
always call him Saul, though, if you don't want to take one from the list. Since that's back on TV.
Saul? Better Call Saul?
Yeah.
Saul Goodman?
He's a con man, you know.
Yeah. I'm going to take one from the list. It's going to be Cypress.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. All right. You take these two folks. You get them dressed up as you need.
Yeah.
And is no one coming with you for this whole trip?
No, Nilrem's doing some recon. I'm also going to get us like haircuts and like shave.
Yeah.
Well.
You clean yourselves up. You get some good clothes. You make your appearance nice. You know, slap some perfume on you. Get it all clean. Yeah. What are you gonna do with these two?
He's gonna be doing surveillance and just figuring out why shit is fucked.
Yeah.
Correct. I'm asking. Okay. I just want to make sure with Nick.
Yeah, that's right. And then we're gonna meet back, and then you're gonna tell me what you find out, and then we're gonna decide whether we want to go ahead with this the next day or not.
Okay. Yeah.
So I will also, when I'm in the market, I'll ask like, what's going on? It seems like it's busy here more than usual. So you can combine Nilrem's surveillance with me asking some questions around the market.
Okay. So both of you will find out pretty quickly that there's not one particular incident that's going on. It's just that this part of the world is so super uber fucked right now that there are so few places where things can be concentrated and actually taken care of that everyone's just working overtime on all the things. The area to the east of the hills, as you mentioned earlier, to the west of the hills, is hella dangerous with all sorts of monsters crawling all over the place. So the guards are on double duty just because there have been monsters about. There is this story that these like weird fishmen, these Sahuagins, came out of the ocean and attacked Redport a few years ago, and they've been seen again, and they attacked Hillsborough like a couple weeks back, and then they'd also attacked Hillsborough again like a year ago. So there's this increased concern about the fish people that have been attacking. This economic area over here has been inundated with trade from afar, and the nobles have been like heavily investing in acquiring all of the like rare materials that the rest of Arcadia is going to want once their wars are done. So they're like, spending their wealth to sit on fat stacks of great goods for the future. There aren't very many good port towns available where repairs can be done, so all the ships that have been sailing about that need repairs come to like Hillsborough, Redport, and Rockwave. Some of the boats here are Matavin vessels from this other war that's happening on the other side of the continent, and those damaged ships are coming here for repairs because their own dry docks are overwhelmed with work right now. Same thing with a few Mystrian ships that don't have room in their dry docks to repair their things. It's a really, really busy time, and this entire section of Arcadia is in crisis.
Well, so it kind of sounds like you said buying up valuable goods that people might want to buy afterwards. So maybe there is room to sell this horse. So I guess we'll go through with it the next day. Nilrem, you're welcome to come with us for the sale, but perhaps lose the hood or something. Look less threatening.
That day, I guess while Nilrem went around, I don't want to spend too much time on it because I think there's way more cool stuff in Redport. But Nilrem would be looking for apprentice still at this time and still looking for the wisdom guy. So can we just do rolls and skip the role play on the? Yeah.
Totally.
Nothing weird here with the Malchus stuff. Just want to make sure that they're not like infesting Hillsborough too.
No, you don't see any signs of any weird Malchus things anywhere. Give me a wisdom check right now, and we'll just I'll give you some cliff notes.
29.
Nothing weird with Malchus people, but you do see an unusual number of clerics of Verasi walking around. You would expect 1, maybe 2 clerics of Verasi in Hillsborough, but just in the port area alone, you see 2, which makes you a little
I think
suspicious.
there's way more. Okay.
Yeah.
This is fucked.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with
for the
me that there's
kids.
probably more interesting things to do in Redport, so...
What did you say? Stats for what, Mooten?
Stats for the children. He also went to the orphanage.
right.
See. Just want to say true, and that's what he'd be.
Me to roll it now.
I did GR roll. I'm sorry. You get someone with 15 int is the highest that you can find.
Any wisdom? Interesting.
There was one that with 10 int and 15 wisdom.
No, I don't think he'd care about that. Okay, cool.
Okay,
He
cool.
leaves and fucks off.
Yep. All right. Horsey time?
I'm gonna take off 10 gold because I think that he would.
Yeah.
You would have spent some money on it. That makes sense.
Do you want to come with Nilrem?
Yeah, no, we're come.
Yeah, okay. But just look, it's fine for you to look like a wizard, just don't look too scary.
No, we'll pull down his hood.
Yeah, that's probably the best you can do. So I make sure I look good. I make sure my other 2 groomsmen, manservants look good. And
We're
I'm
bringing the groom as well, right?
Yeah, and the groom and the horse. I'm going to bring it into the nice part of town. I probably maybe would have scoped it out the day before, but I'm going to try and find the nicest tavern, basically.
You can get to the nicest tavern in town. Not a problem. And what time of day are you arriving here?
I want it to be I don't know, 2 p.m. Would people go to the tavern? They probably would. They're nobles. They'd be drinking. Yeah, the afternoon when it's pretty busy.
Okay.
When would the richest man go drink at the pub?
I mean, if you've been watching Bridgerton, you'll see it depends on what sort of person it is within the family. Some of them are at the pub all day long, and others wouldn't even touch the place.
There you go.
It's more speaks to the character of the person than their station in society. The very nicest tavern in town is called the Constellation.
Very nice. Is there a man on the door?
Yes, there is a man on the door with a black bow tie and a nice suit and cleaned, polished shoes. And you talked about going out and getting appropriate clothes for this event, so you can be looking nice as well.
Can we toss some gold at that?
Well, I will. Hang on. Excuse me there, sir. I don't suppose you have a place for me to tie up my horse?
Certainly. And he goes over and he rings a little bell off the side of the porch upon which the bar is built, and a groom walks round, comes over, and will take the reins of your horse from you.
Very well. Be sure to look after it. It's quite a valuable beast.
The groom promises you he will watch the horse with his life.
I give him a tip of the hat.
The groom's staying with it. I will. I hand a gold piece to the guy on the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I say to him, Is it all right if my men accompany me inside?
He looks at the two of them. As long as they stay to the walls, Mr. Lord.
They know how to behave themselves.
One bodyguard for me and one for my noble friend. And I give a haughty laugh.
Of course.
Thank you, sir. I hand him the gold piece and I'll walk inside.
Norm will hand him a gold piece as well.
Inside is this like very comfortable loungy area. There's a woman on like a beautiful harpsichord in the middle of the room. There's some like chaise lounges around where there's some people are hanging out and chatting with each other. Servants bring around like silver platters of grapes. There are 2 bars on either side with big indoor plants built around them that kind of shrouds the area with a barman on them. Waitresses and waiters will bring drinks to and fro to people. There's an outdoor sort of balcony sitting area that overlooks the town a little bit and overlooks the sea beyond with like just a fantastic view of everything. We're built up like on the back of a hill a wee bit. And it's a very low-key, fancy lounge.
Okay, as I walk in, I scan the room. I want to find the table that's within earshot of the most fancy-looking people. Now, I appreciate that's not... I just make a judgment call. I'm just like,
Right,
okay,
of course.
that looks like the best table. That's the one I'm going to.
Yeah,
Norm
yeah.
nudges the captain as he's walking towards there and asks him for 100 gold, and he's going to go play high-stakes cards. Maybe put the horse up for a bet as well. He whispers,
Well-
to him, I'll count the cards. It'll be fine.
Okay, I have a plan for the horse, but maybe this plan will work better. I hand you 100 gold. Fine.
All right, Norm goes and sits down. I assume there's a
Yeah.
card game.
You can probably get a card game going with some other people. You just have to, ask if anyone wants to play, but there's not one happening at the moment. A simple charisma check will do to get us a card game. Oh, yeah, totally. You mention to some of these fine people as you're walking up with your drink that you want to get a game going, and they're happy to make new friends. Why, only the best of people are in this tavern, and cards are a great game to play. And they'll have some servants bring over a table, and there's a little arguing about do we want to play inside or outside, and we decide on the inside so the wind can't fuss with any of the cards. And
Nilrem is going to go for the long game here of counting the cards and getting the perfect pot. He's going to let the captain do his thing, but he is going to find what he feels like the perfect set of conditions for him to use his intellect in this game.
Okay. I'm going to look up some rules for gaming. In the meantime, let's hear what Captain John is up to.
Well, I was actually planning to have them over here in a conversation with Nilrem, but if Nilrem's not here, I think I will. I'll just find a seat. I'm near this group of people, like on all sides of me. Hopefully, I'm gonna take out like my captain's log or whatever. I'm gonna turn it to an empty page, and then I'm gonna start writing like numbers down on it, like I'm trying to do like sums. And I'm just gonna do that for a little while. I'll be drinking my drink. I'm gonna be writing the sums every now and again. I'll be like shaking my head, like it just doesn't work. And I'm gonna keep doing that, and I'm gonna just sort of do that for a while. And I'm gonna kind of observe people, and eventually, if I see anyone else on their own, I would like to strike up a conversation with them. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep doing that for a while, and just keep thinking. I want it to busy up. But if I see anyone on their own, I will strike up a conversation with them.
A fancy young woman comes over to you at some point and asks what it is that you are so busy writing about. And when you look up, you can see a moonstone necklace, small strand of pearls in the hair, white gloves up to the elbows, very well, very, very high society. And she's asking in a curious, friendly tone.
Just the troubles of merchant life, my lady. Probably nothing that would interest someone as graceful as you. But please, if you would like to join me,
Nope,
then
she's out. Yep, merchant life. Nope, she's gone. Moving on.
Shit. Fuck.
Yep.
Lost
Sorry,
that
you'll
one.
know for the next one.
Yeah.
All right,
Next
Mr.
one.
Moon. For you, you want to play cards. Now, these people have nothing to do with their life but play cards with each other. So these are skillful gamers. Everyone at the table has a gaming proficiency, and so if two proficient players play each other, the one with the highest successful die roll wins. A character with a gaming proficiency can also attempt to cheat, thus gaining a +1 bonus to his ability score for the purposes of this roll. If the proficient check for the game is a 1, 2, 3, or 4, however, the character has been caught cheating even if he won the game. So,
Nilrem doesn't have a gaming proficiency right now. He is just counting the cards.
Oh.
But he's fucking brilliant. So they're probably playing the game that he wanted, the game that he's best at, because he brought up the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we want to go about this.
Just gonna take a quick look. See
There's
over
too
here.
many non-weapon proficiencies to get.
Mm-hmm.
And that's next on my list after my other appraising one that I gotta put in.
Well, gaming is typically a charisma check to know the rules and to play the person, not the game. You are counting cards. So I will say you can make me an int check, and it'll be your int versus their charisma, essentially.
That's good. Thank you. I've been rolling really well today.
This is not cheating. There is no...
Technically not.
There's no way you could get caught.
No, because he's waiting for the exact moment.
Right.
You get kicked out of a game for it, though, potentially, but it wouldn't count as cheating.
Yeah, but you got to be
but it's
pretty
really
fucking
hard.
good to spot someone who's counting cards reliably enough to call them out on it in a Wild West sort of setting where, you know, where you're not a casino.
Yeah.
And let me preference this. Nilrem is looking for the one hand where he's betting the house. He's going to bet, probably depending on the pot and how it goes, but he's willing to bet all of his gold, his emerald, and the horse in one big pot. And I want to say this before I roll the check, because it might get to that.
Okay. So we're going to need a roll to see how down you are already before your pot comes up. And that'll just be a function of how well they're playing. So I'm going to roll 1d20 plus 13 for a charisma check for...
What do you want just my charisma for this one then?
No, you wouldn't roll anything, just for these three other people that you're playing. Yeah, we're going to see how they do it. One guy is doing well, another doing okay. The third one is clearly losing. And then we'll do this. 1, 2, 3. Later in the game, it goes the other direction, and the middle person who started off losing is sort of getting their winnings back. So I'm going to call this sort of a stable game thus far. You are probably doing the poorest of all of them because you're waiting for the right opportunity, and you are trying to bait them out a little bit. So we will say that you are down 15% of what you have that you can put in when the right game comes along. When just the right game.
You want me to roll?
Yeah. So your int versus their charismas. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. It comes down to a tie. How does that work? How do we adjudicate ties in a gaming situation?
Split pot.
Probably
Split pot? Yeah. Well, Nilrem, do you want the gem or the horse? And then the rest of the money will shuffle in between to make up.
Well,
I see what you're saying.
Essentially, they would keep what they both put in, but then they would split the other players' losses.
The other player's lost.
Oh, that's true. Okay. Yeah, so you don't get anything, but the other two people are out, and now it's just you and this other guy. And let's say each of you has 500 gold worth of stuff on the table.
Sure.
Maybe no, because the gem is 100 and the horse I think is already like
1,000.
1,000, right? So you probably each have 1,500 on the table right now. A lot of money.
Holy shit. Well, fuck it. We don't need to sell the horse. We either win all the money now or we lose the horse.
Yeah, I mean, does he want to play another hand? How do we want to do this? Does he want to play more, like a few more hands?
you know, if this much money's on the table, and if the game is actually this back and forth with people completely flipping and then two getting taken out in a everyone's all in sort of situation, I think much of the tavern has gathered round. The harp player has probably slowed their playing because it's, you know, a tense situation and everyone's focused on the game. Ladies and gentlemen alike crowd around the small table, the two of you now sitting opposite of themselves. Even Captain John has put down his ledger and come to observe the game that is afoot. There's much chatter to be had in the crowd as the last hand is finally cleaned up. A servant reshuffles the cards, sets them down, tidies the table. The man across from you takes a look at you, looks at the sums of wealth on the table, the keys to your horse placed there. I don't know what it.
Chat wants to see the rolls.
Oh, they didn't see them. Oh, I'm so sorry. He looks at you and says, "Well, what do you want to do? We could call it quits here for the day. We've both made it out quite well. Luck has not been on your side for most of this game, but it seems to be doing quite well for you now. Maybe it'll hold."
Nilrem will give an eye to the captain. What is the captain? Give me your expression.
I think I'm kind of like shocked and impressed as to how much money is on the table right now. And I feel like you've busted these other people, and they look like card people to me. I'm in for it, mate. Go for it.
All right, normal.
I give you a nod. Fuck it.
Normal shrug. Worst case, we got to kill him. So, not a big deal. Normal say, I'm more than fine to keep playing, good sir. It's nothing really for me.
Odds are on your side, so.
Nilrem is going to be watching out for him. No, Nilrem is going to focus on the card counting. He's not going to care if he cheats. He's going to focus on the card counting.
You look for the right opportunity, regardless of what ploys that guy's making. A lot of money on the table. And as usual,
Wealth.
Your last strategy was sort of give up hands until the right opportunity comes along. Right. I guess the right opportunity eventually will come along, right? Let's give you a luck check just to see how long it takes to get
D20?
to this point. Yeah, give me a D20. High is bad for you, low is good. Okay. You're not that deep into it. It's only another like 30 minutes of play before the right opportunity comes along. You've got some really good cards that are hidden away nice and neatly. You can see what's in the open matches well with what would be in your hand, and the probability of it being something else, like if you have two aces, no other aces have been played thus far.
So we're like about to show our cards. There's one big bet out on the table that I assume Nilrem has done. Let's say 80% of the pot's in there already.
Yeah, and he's seemed anxious and eager thus far. Like, as the cards have come up in your favor and you've put a little bit more money down, he's always matched or raised. And so this gentleman across from the table you get the impression he's in. You get the impression he's really excited about this opportunity.
After he did a big bet, Normal tap his cards and whisper to the gentleman, "I have the best hand. Actually, the nuts. I don't want you to go away losing all your money. Just fold now, save the rest. We can call it quits here."
He's a good card player. He's got good charisma. He reads your face. Poorly. He thinks you're lying. He thinks you're full of shit. This is the one opportunity where his failed charisma check really, really helps you. So if he had passed this, he would have backed out. He would have seen that this was a double lie.
Throwing it up, in checks.
Yep. Give me your int check.
Nice
There's
roll.
no way. There's just no way. Yeah. and his face collapses as you swipe the rest of the pot, bringing your grand total gain to 1,000 from him and 1,000 from the other two, so 2,000 extra gold.
And we have the horse to sell.
And you still have the
Holy
horse.
shit. Wow.
I put my hand out to him and apologized profusely, as a gentleman would do.
Nice work. Shall we... Do you want me to just put that on the party sheet, or do you want to keep hold of some of it?
Nilrem will take 500, so you can take 1,500.
Mm-hmm.
Does he hold his hand out?
He takes your hand, rubs his neck. You know, we've been so focused on the game, I haven't really introduced myself to you. I need to look up his name. Should have looked it up while we were talking. I am Count Fairmain, ruler of Clydesdale. And you?
I laugh.
Nilrem will nod, say, I'm Nilrem, the greatest wizard alive. And he chuckles.
That's a tall tale. How come I've never heard of you if you're the greatest wizard alive?
The greatest wizards are the ones you don't know about, and he gives him a wink.
It's a plausible story. Well, I think we have enough of a show, everyone. Please, can go about your business, everyone. And slowly the group begins to filter.
I will come over to the two of them. Lord Count, nice to make your acquaintance. My name's Captain John Witters. I offer a hand to him. Friend of Nilrem's here.
Pleasure.
This
Have a
is...
seat.
Thank you. I actually was looking for you. I didn't expect to find you here. I think I have something that belongs to you.
Oh? He says.
Well, it can belong to you now. If I'm honest, I'd come upon it and I was planning to just get rid of the thing. But now that you're here and given the current situation, I suppose we would call it a loser's reward. I have a horse of yours, I think. You've ordered it?
A horse of mine? I mean, I am Count Fairmare of Clydesdale. I have many horses.
Captain, I think
gift.
you're getting him confused. Oh, he's from Clydesdale. Never mind.
It's a gift, Count, from friends across the sea. I was coming to bring it to you, but I wasn't sure if I'd have the time to find you. But now that you're here, you may have it.
It's a gift,
outside.
and I'll put my hand around him. It's a gift from us. Thank you for the fair and fun game. And he'll put his hand out. And he'll hopefully take him and show him the horse.
Yeah, he will take your hand and get up and go out and see the horse, and it's a might beauty. And he looks at it and is like, this is just... Who was sending this gift to me? Did it come with a card?
Us.
It's from us. Where we are entrepreneurs from the Dardanelles. And in truth, I've made a business connection with another merchant out in the Dardanelles, and this was a plan of his that he'd half put in motion. But now that we're partners together, I think it's fair enough to say that this is from me and my associates. It even comes with the groom, a man of great standing.
He looks between Captain John and Nilrem. Captain John and Nilrem. Looks at Nilrem.
Give him a friendly smile.
Then he looks back at Captain John. And this was a gift from you, specifically, not Nilrem over here.
Partially, no. It's Nilrem works for me. He's not a partner.
Then I am afraid I must inform you that your employee was gambling away this very horse to me at our card table.
Well, like I said,
smile.
I apologize for that. I understand. This is why I was careful with my words. I had seen that that's what was happening, but until this moment when I just met you, I was actually intending to sell the horse at a cheap rate to be got rid of the beast, as I didn't think I'd have time to find you. But now that you're here, you may as well take it.
He senses something is fishy. Here's a gift for me that you were just gambling away. Oh! But his greed for the horse gets the better of him, and he pats you on the shoulder. Well, look at this one. It's a beauty. then he like snaps his fingers, and one of his bodyguards shows up. And he says, take this to the stables with the others. I'll ride her back to Clydesdale when we leave on the morrow. And he turns back to the two of you.
Nilrem is going to grab the groom, put his hands on his shoulders, and just stand there like, keeping him in place. Nilrem is specifically splitting up the groom from the horse because the groom knows the story of what happened on the boat. And he doesn't want that getting back to his new friend that he's made in Clydesdale. So the groom is now our...
Wait, no, but I told him the groom. Can we not just tell the groom what happened, like to not fucking talk about it?
Why would the groom do that when we're going to be gone 8,000 miles away?
I guess this guy doesn't need a groom.
He has a million grooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nilrem will do his thing.
The groom looks at the horse but I'm supposed to...
And he'll whisper to him, "You're staying with us now. End of discussion. Don't cause a scene. You saw what I did on..."
Groom shuts the fuck up. The count comes over to the groom, looks him up and down, and goes, "You there, horseman! They say this man over here says you're one of the finest around. I have pretty high standards. I am the Count of Clydesdale, after all." The groom says literally nothing.
Nilrem will whisper to him, "Go over there, make a mess of things. Fuck up."
Count says, "Come now. Show me how you saddle a horse." And the groom goes over and like puts the saddle on and like looks over his shoulder at Nilrem and like readjusts the saddle but pushes it too far and the whole thing falls over in a mud puddle. And the count in his new saddle, it was just cleaned and detailed, starts to throw a conniption. The other grooms, the guards will quickly resaddle the horse.
I run over as this is happening. "What on earth are you doing, you fool? You're making a complete mess of this. Count, I'm sorry. I dragged the kid away. Please, make no mind, I apologize profusely. Who do you think you are? Go and get yourself cleaned up."
Quickly, the groom runs off, leaving the two of you.
Apologies, my lord.
Nilrem will come over. I guess we're probably saying our goodbyes at this point to the count.
Yeah.
He will thank you for the game. He'll hold on his hand. Wait for a shake, I assume.
Yeah, he takes your hand. He shakes it happily. "If you're best wizard in the land, if you are looking for steady employment, a good roof over your head, guards at your walls so you need not be interrupted, and more servants than you can count, do come by Clydesdale. I am in need of a new spellcaster, a new advisor."
He nods. Currently on here with my friend, and he'll give him a smile. But
"I'm sure I can pay more than any sea captain can," he says, sort of like haughtily speaking over you. "Our tower's been empty for 10 years. There's a small library there already."
I'm sure you could, and I may take your offer up in the future, but currently, there's something I'm looking for in the Dardanelles. You, a man of your greatness, I assume, knows what it's like to be looking for something, and only that will quench your thirst.
You know, the
However, I do have a
gnomes
spell.
have a saying, "Never interrupt a man on his life quest." It's one of the few bits of wisdom to come out of there.
The only. Would you be interested in a spell? And I'll explain Aldrich's discriminating door and see if he'd be interested in that at all.
He will tell you that the famed Aldrich the Enchanter himself enchanted the Count's doors not 10 years ago before his untimely demise. Did you know
would that be bad for him?
No, I mean they were made by Aldrich.
I know, but they enchanted the other Count's doors. I guess it depends on what the enchantment was, but the Count this new Count might not be able to get in the doors.
It's the same Count.
Same Count, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I will nod. Perfect. Well then. Unless you need anything from me or my captain, I think then we will be off. Thank you for the great game.
It was a real nail biter. A man of my stature fears losing that much money in a single night. I'm afraid that's probably my gambling budget for the rest of the season.
And nod. If there's anything that, if I ever may take you up on your offer, how should I best get into Clydesdale and come have a chat with you? Who do I speak to? Ask for.
come to Clydesdale and speak with my gatekeeper, Kel Serena. Tell her that you are the wizard that I met in Hillsborough, that I had made an offer to, and she will bring you into the castle, and I shall come find you when I can. If not, she will put you up in lodgings, and you will be taken care of until such time that I do arrive. I'm afraid we can't put you up in the castle, security reasons, but we'll put you up in the town, which is quite fine, and a man of your money should have no problem at all.
Thank you very much. Guess we're off to Redport.
That's it. Yep. We gather the groom, or should we just leave him here?
We bring him.
We bring him. Okay.
You can track him down, not a problem.
Yeah.
We'll,
Okay.
dispose of him.
All right. To Redport then. The bit that I was worried about.
Yeah. We're gonna do what exactly is it we're doing in Redport?
Meeting
Not
the
sure.
wizard. Merlin.
Meeting Merlin, and what else?
That's it.
I think we're
Keep
gonna
my
meet Merlin
profile.
and talk to him about our good
Buy
god
some
Remy.
components. You're buying some
And
components.
buy some
right?
components, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And
Sure, it was a long way to come for components, Nilrem.
and Redport, isn't that the place that you stole a very fancy boat from, Captain John?
That is true. Yeah, that's why I'm worried about it.
Did you sort of make a big deal about it? Didn't you kind of?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Oh, I think so. Probably as I was like shouting expletives like "fuck the count," "fuck the king" as we were like sailing away on the ship.
Yeah, isn't your face probably known by many of the important people who work at the docks? Like, they might have wanted posters up of you, wouldn't they? Maybe.
It's true.
Yeah.
Years.
It's been a year, and I'm an expert disguiser, so I'm confident. I'm not gonna sit on the.
We can
boat,
make
like-
it work. I can make you taller. I can make you smaller.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's absolutely fine.
It's fine. Don't even worry about it. It's fine. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tides of Death. Turns out, the wizard's in Hillsborough. He's not in Redport. You don't even have to get out of this town, but you do have
Amazing.
to go find him.
All right. Well, I think we get the groom back on the boat. We tell everyone that we've got one more chore to do. They've got another night in town. Make the most of it, because then we're sailing all the way back to the Dardanelles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I will continue wearing my noble clothes, I guess, to go and visit this wizard. With
Nilrem is going to wear his hood up. He is going to follow behind Captain John, and he's going to make it so his face cannot be seen.
Wait.
How long ago did you leave this wizard?
Whenever John left, so about like a year ago.
Okay, so you left immediately from Hillsborough to Redport and got on John's ship and took
got
off
the
right away.
Fuck out. Yeah, because Nilrem owes this guy a lot of time.
So it's been about a year since you've seen him last. And you took some of his shit on the way out, didn't you?
I did. He had some potions that I think I destroyed. He had a book that I stole.
Okay.
And
And
he's do a little steal.
all that time and money that he invested in you just gone out the window with all of his stuff.
Yeah.
Let's just say you're not necessarily on the best of terms.
But if you want to walk behind me, you've got to tell me where we're going.
Oh, he'll tell you. He knows the exact way.
Yeah.
Nilrem did many a walks up and down those streets to various markets for that man.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nilrem can tell you exactly where to go, which is the fastest route, which road leads to where.
You've been this place before then. You've been buying this component for a while?
You can say that.
What is it?
Well, we don't lie to each other, right, Captain?
I don't think so.
Nilrem will pull him into an alley and talk to him. We're not really
Right.
here to buy spell components.
Well, you don't
My-
say.
My previous master lives here, and I have some unfinished business with that man. And just so it turns out, he knows something about the one who shouldn't be named.
He
And I
does.
think it should be okay to say it here.
You
Because
do?
do you remember Archie and Sale, how they were feeling less than. Yeah. I feel like we're
No.
out of whatever that beast's range is.
You want to test that theory, yours, Nilrem?
I tested in Weatherlight and nothing happened.
You're
Nothing happened to
lying.
us on the village on the way over here either.
I don't believe you.
You know, I'm gonna look him in the eyes and say, Rohi.
Oh. Hey, wait. I look around waiting for manic bears to spawn or something.
It's fine.
Wait.
We're just
You're
gonna go and
telling
get some
me-
answers.
Hang on. Does that mean if I die in Arcadia, then it can't take my soul?
Captain, it's a dragon. It can't take your fucking soul.
Sail said.
Sale says a lot of.
He wouldn't lie about the man's soul.
I shrug.
Well.
Sale's our
Alright.
friend, but corrupted by a deity.
Or a dragon. Let's go and speak to this wizard of yours and see what we can find out. Am I to understand that things may not go smoothly with this guy?
He's not going to be very happy to see me. I think that it would be best if I subdued him as soon as possible, but I don't know if I can win a fight with him. I should be able to. I don't want to magic. I don't.
What can I say that I'm trying to buy off him? A potion or something? A love potion, something like that? Does he make potions?
I'll think back. What do I think that this guy would be really interested in talking about and selling? I was his apprentice. What would get him hot?
Well, you
bothered.
were his apprentice. This is your backstory we're exploring. So why don't you tell me what he would be interested in?
He would probably be hot and bothered if the captain came in and wanted to sell him knowledge. So I have a few different spell books. So maybe if the captain comes in with one of the old spell books or one of the ones that I picked up and wants to sell it.
I'll tell him I found it on a ship.
Yeah.
I'm looking to sell it. All right.
And then I'm going to magic missile the shit out of him. And you're going to need to attack him immediately.
We're just... don't we need to find out the information, no?
We're going to find out the information, but we want to catch him off guard. Here's what we'll do instead. Instead of me magic missiling him, I will enlarge you from behind. And that is the moment that you need to pounce and grab his arms and make sure he cannot get through any spell components. While you're doing that, I will tie his mouth so he can't speak and use verbal.
Okay.
Just make sure he can't wave his arms around.
I can play Archie. I'm not scared of no wizard, no offense. At least
And
not
I'll
a fist
hand
fight.
him Father Hubert's Wizard Spellbook, which has level 3 spells.
Ooh, all right. As you approach the door to this circular building, you notice there is a woodblock printing on the side of the door. And it says, "Missing, have you seen this boy?" And there is a crude drawing of a young Nilrem carved into the woodblock printing. And there is a reward, 100 gold, if you have information relating to his missing, that helps them find him.
He's going to give me 100 gold then.
I will knock on the door. Wizard, are you in there?
There's a brief pause and then a distant string of curses that slowly grows louder until the door opens and a wizened man looks at you with a grumpy face and goes, "Have you no idea of what hour it is? This is far past the hour of business, good sir."
I'm sorry. I have something I think you may be interested in. A book that my fool of a companion here is too dim to make use of. Perhaps someone more accomplished.
Every time
make
someone
sense of it.
finds a musty book, they think it must be filled with magic. Let me see. Gosh, looks
I'm
past
having
you.
on good authority that this is filled with spells, my friend. And I will open it to him and show him the cryptic text. This is the words of wizards and witches and warlocks, is it not?
He leans on like a scepter, which Nilrem, if you're like peeking out from behind the side of
He's probably
Captain
not.
John at all. No, okay, then you don't notice this. But if you did, you would know that he didn't used to walk with a limp, but he's clearly walking with some sort of like limp now on this cane.
As he starts to look at it, I slam it shut. Perhaps we could talk about this inside. I
Let me see what you're dealing with first.
Sorry.
That's just takes the book
Here,
again.
look. I open it. And I'm holding it. I'm opening it like one page from him.
Yeah, he looks at it. He pauses and like looks at the lettering and looks around and sniffs the paper and goes, you might be onto something after all. Come inside. He grumbles to himself as he walks in.
Boy, come on.
No one will follow behind.
Bring your man-child with you, he says. And then he starts walking up the stairs to the next room up. Shut the door on your way in, he says.
He's not looking?
No, he doesn't look back once. He just walks and starts heading upstairs.
Enlarge, Captain, by 60% and shut the door.
I feel a little bit bad about beating the shit out of this old guy, but I will, as soon as I start to get enlarged, I'm sure he's going to hear the spell. I go to grab him, restrain him.
Yeah, I think he hears the words to enlarge being cast, and he pauses and like turns back on the steps and sees the spellcaster and John, and this is pretty surprising, but not super surprising. 1d10.
Can I roll for speed too? Because it's only a 1.
He is mechanically surprised. No need to roll for anything. He's like taken aback. You get the spell off.
And fucks with a wizard.
John grows. He's staring at Nilrem directly. He's like not even looking at giant growing John. You can roll initiative if you want.
I have to roll initiative, yeah.
Yeah, if you want. Yeah.
I am going to try and like sock his mouth.
My guy grabbed him, yeah.
So you're both going to try and like grapple with him, and you're gonna go for his mouth, and John's gonna go for his like limbs.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you both act before him, and as you start moving in his direction, he like throws his cane to the side and opens his arm and goes, "Nilrem, my boy, you're back!" And he thinks you're running to greet him, and you beat Nick in initiative. You push past giant Captain John, and he opens his arms and stands on the stairs, accepting the hug that you were about to give him. No attack roll needed.
Okay.
You can make a strength check at advantage to knock him down, and it's fine. It's fine.
Nilrem with rage, thinking about how many times this motherfucker fucked with him, made him write dumb stuff, made him go up and down the streets and do his errands, tackles him onto the stairs.
The old man hits the ground. His head slams against the staircase. He like loses his breath as the wind gets knocked out of his lungs. You gag him without any real trouble. He barely puts up a resistance.
I think I like uncomfortably try and find somewhere to sit whilst this awkward situation.
You're way too big to fit in anything right now.
Yeah. I think I end up sitting on a dining table or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll tie him up. We'll drag him. We'll sit him down, and Nilrem will.
You'll tie him up. I'm watching.
Yeah, Nilrem will tie him up. Drag him, put him on a chair. Take all material components off of him. Take his cane. And make sure he doesn't have any rings on.
Yep. Strip him of all of his gear.
Strip him of everything. We sit him there, and I ungag him.
Nilrem, my boy, what's the meaning of this? You finally come back. What's going on? Are you okay? Why have you attacked me?
I have some things I need you to do for me, Merlin. Number 1, and I'll pull out the Weatherlight orphan papers. Can you make any sense of this?
It's gibberish dwarven, he says, glancing at it real quickly. It doesn't mean a thing. If only you had studied a little harder, you would have been able to read the dwarven. You never quite paid it. Oh, but you're back. I have all the time in the world to teach you how to read dwarven now. But why am I tied up?
Nilrem will smack him.
Oh.
Listen to me, old man.
You're not Nilrem. He was a good boy. He was obedient. Had to beat the sense into him. But I did.
You didn't know him that well.
You don't know what it did to me all those years, doing all of your tasks like your little servant boy.
That builds character and discipline.
A bead of sweat drips down for John's forehead as he says that.
Nilrem will punch him to hopefully shut him up. If he doesn't, then
Yep, it
okay.
shuts him up.
He will then ask him, I was told when I was in Weatherlight that you might know something about a dragon. A Lenorum dragon to Telemachy Lenorum.
Telemachy the dragon? Yes, I'm quite the expert on Telemachy, actually. Quite the expert. You know, dragons have always been a part. You would know, of course, how much dragons have interested me in
Hey, he's tied up. Don't be. Don't
He's
abuse
answered
the
my
whole
questions
man.
correctly. You don't know what he put me through, John. He made me
Alright,
do
fair
his
enough.
errands for years.
Fair enough, Norm. Fair enough. Listen, old man. I'm sorry for the record, but you reap what you sow.
Who are you?
I'm just, you know. I don't know.
We're worried about what I believe a Telemachy dragon in the Dardanelles who goes by the name of Rohi. Have you ever heard of this?
The Lenorum dragon. Lenorum dragon, named Telemachy.
Yes, what about it? What can you
That's
tell
the
me?
dragons. It's not a Telemachy dragon. It's a Telemachy named dragon, Nilrem. Can't you
And
listen?
What is a Lenorum dragon?
It's a type of dragon. They come in colors and breeds and species.
What does a Lenorum do? Do they... Oh, wait.
You know, I was trying to teach you all of this stuff once upon a time. Well, their breath weapon is one of caustic acid, similar to a black dragon, but the cone is a different shape. And it works well underwater, as in addition, like, unlike the black dragons.
Can these live underwater?
Yeah, well, Telemachy does. Telemachy is one subtype of Lenorum dragon. There are many subtypes of Lenorum. We don't get them here, mostly with the classic metallic and chromatic ones here in Arcadia, but there are plenty of other dragon species about. They all have their preferred... This Telemachy is a sea dragon, and lives well beneath the sea, spending most of their days down there. Yes, a self-styled ruler of that area, I believe.
Has Sale ever shared with us in character that he came back to life, or no?
No.
Okay, just want to make...
He's an old man, though. This dragon, it's just a dragon, right? It can't do magic. It can't do... Well, how powerful is this, something like this?
Can it cast spells where tentacles come out of the sea and rip people in? We have a cleric. His name is Sale. He says he follows a being named Rohi. I talked with Ponos, and he told me that the being under the sea, who considers itself a god, is a Lenorum dragon.
Tentacles
named
out of the
Telemachy.
sea is a Vard's black tentacles. It's a spell of the fourth circle of the conjuration school. Those mnemonic devices didn't work, I see. And it's a wizard spell. It's an arcane spell. Lenorum dragons exclusively use divine magic. Except for their innate spell and the innate abilities which wizards have mined for useful spells over the past. Our create wall of fog spell is very similar to their innate fog wall abilities, but it's different, he says.
The one thing I pride you on, my old teacher, is your knowledge. So Nilrem is going to extensively over a few hours kind of explain their journeys that they've been on and the weird things that he's seen Rohi do, and see if he thinks that this is a Lenorum dragon or if he believes that this to be something else.
He listens.
It sounds like when you're talking about Avard's black tentacles, you're making it seem like Lenorum dragons can only cast divine magic. Well, this wouldn't work then.
He listens, and when you're finally done with the end of your story, he shakes his head and goes, No, none of this sounds like Telemachy at all. Spells don't sound like anything he's capable of unless they're powerful illusions, but even then, Telemachy wouldn't have access to... He is clearly divinely oriented in his spell casting. deeply connected to the goddess of nature herself. This doesn't sound anything
always...
like him. And then that name that you said, Rohi.
Careful, careful with us.
Stop saying it.
Why? Well, it doesn't. It's not a name.
Attention.
It's not a name that dragon has ever been known by.
Yeah,
like
well, just,
you
let's
saying
just
my name
say,
was Puss in Boots.
If you're right and it's not a dragon, then I'd be very careful about saying its name because that means it might be a god still. In which case, my soul's still fucking owed to a deity, and we're probably going to get dragged down to the depths the second we get within the range of the Dardanelles.
Were there always this amount of deities in the pantheon? Do we know?
The first age of this world is known as the Age of Mist, because back then, gods walked the lands and few things were written down. No one knows how long the Age of Mist lasted. Could have been 100 years, could have been, well, it was at least 1,000. Well, it could have been 10,000 years, or 5,000 years, or 1,000 years, or 500 years. Not much is remembered from those days.
So in theory, when all the gods went up, few could have stayed?
Gate Isle has recently overthrown its former Aridonian masters. There is a man there. His name is Malcifer Winter, and he looks directly at John Winters when he says that, and sort of looks him up and down a few times.
Malcifer what?
Winter.
This motherfucker. He stole my name.
He claims that there are other deities, but he's a necromancer. He's a powerful one, but it's lies. There are no gods of winter. The only gods that exist are the ones that are in the sky. Those are the gods that have always existed. Those are the gods that have been confirmed. There are no other deities. There are clerics who speak with gods.
He'll explain what Malchus did when he brought up the name. And this is probably the first time I think the captain's hearing about it, Rohi, with the bears, and how Malchus came down and touched the earth. Specifically when he called his name, said that. Most unusual indeed, yeah?
Unusual at some
Very unusual.
Yeah.
Very unusual.
Well, do you have any counsel for your previous apprentice on this
When
matter?
you hear hoofbeats, you should think horses, not zebras. Thinking that you've discovered a long-hidden deity is the greatest of zebra that there is to be. There must be a more understandable, reasonable answer for all these things.
Sail can cast his spells with sand and sand alone. He can choose which way he casts it with just a thought. It's like no other cleric I've ever heard of or seen before.
When we were sailing from the Dardanelles, he seemed to grow uneasy, queasy. His stomach became ill. He had to leave, returning to the islands. Whatever influence this thing has.
A quest spell that makes you uneasy once you leave a certain point. His mind could be altered by all sorts of enchantments. He may just be lying to you that he's reversing spells. You can't tell when someone's memorized a spell which way they've done
Fair
it.
enough. I would counter with one more. We ran into an old temple to Nadinus or some other nature god out on an abandoned island. We were wandering around exploring the place. Sale was complaining of a Geppa. He was complaining of heat and burning skin. I shit you not, within about 2 minutes, the man burst into flames and had to run outside the temple and roll around in the grass to put them out.
He's been this way also with an artifact that we've found of a stare. It is a shield, or it is a weapon. He can't touch it or it'll burn his skin.
This man sounds
before we carry on this
like an
conversation, can I
undead.
say, perhaps we should untie the wizard, Nilrem.
No, we'll give
I
you a
believe
smile.
we're not in any danger here, are we? With you, Merlin?
I
Shakes his
truthfully
head.
didn't know how you'd react. Thought you would have got my letter about me running off and not coming back.
I thought you were kidnapped. Thought the whole place had been ransacked. I didn't find a letter.
Nilrem
we-
will untie him, but make sure his components are away from him.
Sure, they're all on the other side of the room.
Yeah, I help him to his feet. And
Rubs his wrists
down.
and heads over to the small kitchen over here, gets a fire going in the oven, and begins to boil some water.
He'll
Nice to meet you,
talk
Melon.
about.
I shake his hand.
She sort of shakes yours half-heartedly and focuses on his task.
They'll talk about the fish that they met, who granted them a wish. Talking.
Yes, there have been rumors, long rumors of magic fish or mermaids, leprechauns, genies, creatures who are magically endowed that when you catch them, they can grant you a wish if you set them free. What did you wish for?
We wish for the death of the White Prince.
A poor wish indeed.
What would you have wished for?
Would have kept the fish in a tank and thought about it for a long time.
He would have wished to have his apprentice back, Nora.
No one will laugh. Oh god, that would have been the worst.
Wait, let's go back to what you were saying, Melon. You said it sounds like he's an undead. Is that
Well,
possible?
is
That
near
he'd
a
be undead and we
sacrosanct
wouldn't know?
temple when he burst into flames, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
but we would know
Well-
if the man was dead. The smell alone.
Would you?
Wouldn't I?
He can cast spells. Have you ever? Well, no, never mind. Thanks.
Exactly. No, listen, listen to the apprentice. The young man who knows a few things. If he was undead,
Undead
he
can cast spells, but I've never seen any cast of divine origin.
mummies of some kind can still channel corrupted powers of their original deities. It's been known to happen rarely. Be an unusual undead, most certainly unusual.
Do you think the
Nilrem,
man in
would you fetch
Pinespur-
me my volume on the undead from the library upstairs? The third volume, Nilrem. Make it snappy.
Nilrem instinctively will do it, but
Yeah,
he'll
okay.
realize halfway through and he'll be
I'm
upset.
slack jawed as Nilrem's walking up the stairs to find this book. Wow, how did you do that?
What?
How did you get him to do that? I've been telling him what to do for a year now, and he barely musters the strength to do anything with like a half-assed bit of effort.
I think that speaks volumes about you.
Yeah, well.
What books
thanks
are in
for
the
insults.
library? Papa needs a library too.
I mean, there's a bunch of books here. They're not going to fit in any of your pockets. You could carry an arms load out, but you can't put a book
We'll
in a
have to do
pocket.
that later.
Yeah.
All right.
So he'll talk to you. Undead are commonly and easily repulsed by consecrated grounds. So are certain types of demons or devils or, innately evil creatures. But usually it comes in the like demon or undead form.
So the man on Pine Spur, Gate Isle, you say that he claims there are other gods before?
Man's half mad.
Do you
Yes,
think
he
there's
claims
a chance
that
for a conversation with him?
Listen now, Nilrem. That's not trouble we want to get ourselves involved with. You want to end up a skeleton in this madman's army?
I think necromancers can never be trusted and never be reasoned with. Their answer to every problem is death, and then the assimilation of those that they have killed, including their knowledge and their power. You go to speak with him. You may get the answers you need, but you will get them while you die or after you're dead. And you will spend an eternity in a hellish landscape, trapped in a rotting corpse, doing terrible deeds with no rest forever.
What about the message spell? Do you know it?
No. He mutters quietly under his breath.
If I learned that, just knowing his name, I should be able to send him a message, yes?
Well, you must be able to also direct the animal in that way.
Or sorry, sending.
Yeah, sending.
Sending.
Yeah, that would work if you've got his name.
Sending is what I meant.
Yes, as long as you're on the same plane of existence, there's a 5% chance that it won't arrive. 1 in 20.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to visit no necromancer Nilrem, really. I draw the
agree.
line. Yeah.
I don't think we should visit him either. It's something in the future. If you want to know about the man who is undead, you probably want to go to the man who makes the undead.
Hang on. We're not actually saying that Sale's undead now, are we?
I don't know. You know how I am, Captain. You know I get into a fair bit of trouble here and there, and I was able to touch the objects. So it can't be that it can't be that Sale is more evil than I.
Just did it not make more sense that whoever row he is, maybe he just doesn't get on with the other gods, you know? Maybe they just don't like him. That's what I was thinking.
Could be that as well.
He's not
But
undead.
simplest-
He's our friend,
simplest-
Nilrem. He can't be undead, can he?
Well, he is our friend.
What, is he warm?
He sleeps, he eats, he's warm to the touch.
He's warm at the touch.
He's a living, breathing man.
Oh, well then. Maybe he's a demon.
Maybe he's a demon. Yeah, maybe. Maybe he's a demon.
They've been crawling around these parts. Didn't you say you picked him up here in Redport?
I did.
Well, just a hop, skip, and a jump from Redport is a whole army of demons mucking about in what's that place called? Heatstroke. Yes.
Well, demons have armor, and
I didn't
when-
realize that all
Demons
demons
come
were
in
just lazy,
many
drunk
forms
fools.
and fashions. There are soldier demons and infiltrator demons, siege demons and leadership demons, casters and creatures and all sorts of things.
One bit of information I may have forgot to tell you is that this Sale and his deity are waging a holy war, I would say, against Astaire himself.
You know,
The whole Dardannes is, well,
Malin, this is information that could get us in a lot of trouble back home, okay?
Sounds like Malchus.
Let's not go around spreading that.
Holy wars against Astaire, person who's uses deceit and lies and corruption to mess
why
with
would he
things.
lie about who he is, though?
Why do the gods do the things that they do? Beyond my understanding. They always have some other game that they're playing somewhere else. The problem is that they can see the entire playing field, and we can only see so much. Even if we were as brilliant as they, maybe the plays they're making here are about the game that's being played over there. It's hard to see, to know what they want when you can't even see the whole board, when you don't even know the scope of play. I don't even know all the rules.
Okay, so let's say it's Malchus then. That makes sense, right?
Is that why Malchus attacked you? Because you said his name to him when it was supposed to be hidden?
Could be. I don't know. I think that I'm just gonna have to keep this to the chest and keep looking further.
Is there any way to identify a Malchus cleric?
Normally they just come right out and tell you. So it makes them so
but any other
difficult.
way?
Well, I wouldn't really
Kind
make this
of-
offer usually. But why Hillsborough? Why are you here?
Well, I was born here. So I lived here. I built this
Doesn't
tower
this-
myself. What?
Doesn't this this whole thing interest you?
Well, I mean,
Would you want to come learn more? Meet him?
No, my home is here. This is my library, my books. There's money and wealth. I have jobs and friends and family and connection. Why would I give all this up? Run
He's
across,
right.
live on a
He's right,
small,
Noah.
dank, stinky ship with. Kind of points at John.
Well, hey, I'm trying to
disgustedly.
back your corner here, but if you're going to keep insulting me, But I was going to say, the Dardennes, it's no place for a man of your age, a wizard of your age. Nilrem's sprightly, but they don't like your kind over there. You'll be hunted and killed.
You know Ferris.
The
Merlin,
famed
right?
Ferris of the Farron Empire? Yes, all wizards know of him.
We have his home.
This is actually
His
true.
home. Which one of his homes? I mean, if you said you went to the king's stables, it might mean one thing if you're in Clydesdale, and another thing if you're in.
We have the place where he trained Leomund. I don't want to give you the exact spot because I'm not sure what we're going to do with you. But you could come there. You could work in his workshops. He has the greatest library, and he'll give him the best explanation of the place. Tell him about the magic, the landing platform that you can jump down. It has featherfall. Nilrem's really going to try to beef it up.
Yeah, he sounds super interested in the place. Well,
We could move all your books. We're setting sail in a few days. We have a huge ship. You could stay there, and inside there, you could live there and do with it what
Why
you
don't we
want.
finish your education first, Nilrem? Why don't you stay here with me, and we'll make a wizard out of you yet? And then when we go, maybe then, after you've finished your training and education, and we have some time to prepare, we can set sail and stay with people of better standing. We'll make some friends and connections. I'll show you the ropes.
I will make you a deal, Merlin, and you need to listen to it carefully. You come with us, and you can live inside Ferris's hideout. And anytime I come back, I will be your apprentice while I'm there. And we will learn, and we will read books, and I will learn, and I will be a good wizard, like you always wanted. But when my captain needs me to set sail, I will set sail. That is the deal I can make you. You can
No one
fix
person can serve two masters. No. You're my apprentice, Nilrem, and that's the way it's going to be. Now here, put this book back, and he hands you the book that you got for him earlier.
All right. That's enough.
Nilrem
of that.
won't grab
Sit
the
down,
book.
Melon.
What? Thought we had come a long way.
We have come a long way. He was going to kill you before we got here, so.
Nonsense.
Still not sure.
Well, not bad.
Merlin, would you really give up your life and stay here, rather than come with me and
Give
have a
up
chance
my
at all
life?
this?
What are you talking about?
Nilrem will call forth the magic missile and hit him with one of the three.
No.
Roll
Hey.
me some damage. 4 points of damage.
Or three.
He takes a puncture to the side. His eyes sort of like, his hand goes to his.
Nothing
looks-
crazy. That's enough, Nilrem. Melon. No one's dying today, okay? Nilrem, there's no need for that. You, do some research.
But
Find out what you can. We'll
what
be back.
level are you, Nilrem?
6th.
So you created 3 darts, and you only hit him with 1. But he
Yes.
sees the other 2 that,
The other 2 whiz by
strike
his head.
something else.
Yeah.
And he realizes, becomes very plain on his face, that you are not the 0th level apprentice that he's been training. Your magic missile spell is at least as good as his. And he gets real fucking quiet as he holds the wound on the side of his body.
Now,
Right.
as I said before, your knowledge is of great interest. And we would be able to use you very well in Ferris's laboratory. What do you say?
Give me a charisma check, Nilrem. Success, he comes with you. Failure, he
I've
stays.
been rolling bad all day.
It's right on the edge. He considers it for a long pause before finally saying, "This is my home. You can't tempt me to go live a life of danger when I have everything I need here. But I recognize you might be stronger than I thought. You might have excelled beyond what I was able to teach you. You always were a sharp lad. Maybe this is good for you.
I will look over to the captain.
Melon, maybe you can do some research into this while we've been gone. We can come back and visit in the future. Into what we've told you about our friend.
Nilrem shakes his head. Captain, he's going to pack up every one of these magic books that he has. He's going to leave this shop. He's never going to...
He's more used to us here. He can help us. Why burn this bridge?
I'll point up to the upstairs. I'm watching him very carefully. If he moves, something
He's
that'll happen.
very still, just holding the side of his body.
Those books upstairs, Captain, they can help me teach an apprentice. It's a whole library up there for me to learn more. They have all of the knowledge that I need to sift through, and that when I get my apprentice, that they will sift through for anything we want. The knowledge is upstairs. This is the man I came to.
I thought you said that Ferris had the greatest library that anyone had ever seen back at the base.
He has a library with empty books that need to be, or with books that are aged, that need to be de-aged by thousands of years. I won't be able to understand that. Norm shrugs. 10, 20 years, 30, 40?
All right. Okay. Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna wait here for this spell to run out. We're gonna sit here in silence. Well, not in silence. We're gonna sit here peacefully.
Oh, your large spell is already worn off. Yeah, you told like an hour-long story.
All right. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go back to the boat on my own. I'm gonna wait there for an hour. Then I'm gonna send 3 or 4 guys here. And then whatever's happened, Nilrem's happened. If you need to help move books, they'll help you. Now, I will say this. Melon, you seem like a stand-up guy. If it were up to me, I'd keep you around. I think you'd be useful. But in all fairness, I only met you today. Nilrem here has been my friend for a long time. And if he says there's more to it, there's more to it. So, hey, I'm sorry. I'm walking away from this. Nilrem, I'll send the lads here in about an hour, okay?
No, I'm not.
I told you about this one. What a coward.
It's nice meeting you. I shake it. He says that to me.
Well, yeah, he calls you a coward for walking away from the...
Merlin, I'm going to give you...
I withdraw my hand and say, well, fuck you then. And I'll leave.
It's okay, it's just you two. Yeah.
I'm going to give you one more chance. Do you want to come with us and live the rest of your life? He shakes his head.
I don't want to go with you. I'm staying here.
Nilrem will toss another magic missile, all 3 darts hitting him.
My god. Brutal.
11 and 4 is 15 damage
and I'll roll
total.
Again.
Another one? Yeah, well, that'll do it, I'm sure. Roll me the extra damage.
Seven.
Yeah. Yep. He lays on the ground before you, dead. Well, his lifeblood's spilling out. I'm sure if you would desperately change your mind, you could patch his wounds right now, but he's dying.
Nilrem will think for 1 round. He's more use alive than he is dead. He won't come willingly. But you can take an unwilling wizard without spell cards. You can take a wizard's hand. Nilrem will patch him up.
Make me a healing check or an intelligence.
A healing salve.
Ooh.
I will use 1 of the charges. Oh, wait. You need to bring him back to full, right?
No.
No, you just need to use 1 and you bring him up?
You would need to... Yeah, the healing salves won't bring you all the way to 1 HP. You'll need to use the number of his negatives. Yeah.
Can I guesstimate his negatives or no?
Well, 1 should stop the bleeding. Should stop him from dying immediately, but he'll be like still on the brink of death.
That's fine. That's probably for the best. Okay, I'll use 1 healing salve on him to stop the bleeding. I'll check to bandage him. I would have been fine, but yep, it's good. I'm going to tie him up. And start figuring out what I want to do. I'm going to bring him upstairs with me if I can.
Yeah.
And start ransacking the place, taking stuff, moving it into an area. Captain Winters is going to send a few people. I'm going to start moving the books out. It's late at night, so this should all be seamless. Magic missile should be without sound.
Yep. Yeah. Just the normal sounds of magic coming from the wizard's house. And sometime later, 3 more sailors will arrive to help you haul books off.
With boxes and stuff, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're going to haul the books, whatever wealth he has, whatever the magical scrolls he has, his magical books. I'm going to need access to that. And then, yeah, I mean, Nilrem is going to wake him up at some point, or he's going to awaken.
It'll take many hours for him to waken, but it'll take many trips to pack up all the books. With only 3 people plus you hauling, it'll take, a few trips up and down town with arms laden to haul things out. Do I need to
knock anything open that is locked? Or can I find the keys to it?
No, pretty much every door is wizard locked, except for the ones where you would be going in and out of. So the front door has keys. Front door is normal, and
he sent me upstairs to the library to go and retrieve stuff.
Yeah,
I assume wizard lock is with the passcode also.
No, wizard lock is just the wizard who did it can bypass it, but everyone else is barred. But his personal laboratory is wizard locked, and his bedroom is wizard locked.
How do they bypass it? Just with their hand? Can someone grab a wizard's hand and just open it?
No, it takes the wizard to do the opening. They must voluntarily choose to open the door.
Okay, Nilrem is going to pack up what he can. He's going to wait for the wizard to awaken. I know it's going to take many hours. Lock the downstairs, and then he's going to make his master open those doors.
If you wait for him to waken, he can refuse to.
He can refuse to, but Nilrem is willing to torture and whatnot.
Well, hours later, you have used 7 healing charges. No, wait. His total HP is 21. You dealt. What was it? It was 4 plus 11 plus 7. You dealt 22. So it actually only took you 2 healing charges to get him to full.
Goes off.
And a few hours later, he will sort of stir. You don't know. I've got 21 HP. How much HP do you have?
20, or I have 19. Okay, I can knock open some doors. So I won't need him for at least 2 doors.
Sure. Well, there's the bedroom and the laboratory that are wizard locked. You would know those are the 2 that you would want to get into that are going to have the best stuff.
I'll open the laboratory first because that's where I would keep all my good shit.
Sure. And then you would have, hauled out what you wanted from there onto the boat.
Yep. Do I see anything hidden or any lockboxes in there?
Your people scrounge the place. Yeah, they'll haul lock boxes away, and they'll tear down anything that's on the walls, and they'll poke about. But the laboratory's underground, and it's all stone, so it doesn't look like there's anything. Maybe there's a super secret hidden passageway, but you don't notice any.
Okay. When he wakes up, does he refuse to open any other doors, or did I get all the doors that I?
There was also his bedroom door.
So I have 2 knock spells, so I'll use 1 on the bedroom as well. Then.
Okay, then you can loot the bedroom for all it's worth. Other rooms, library is open to other people who might need to use it. There's an apprentice's room, an apprentice's quarters, kitchen, pantry. Lavatory. Rooftop. Front door. I don't think anything else is locked behind a wizard lock, actually. Yeah, you've already gotten all the good stuff.
Okay, then we take everything. We take all his wealth. We take all of his books, very specifically, and I will take possession of his book and all of his spell components, and I'll put them on myself. We don't have to go through that now. And I think that we are going to come back with him
as a prisoner.
I will put a cloak over him to make it look like he's, just a drunken guy. Got too drunk at the bar, and we're bringing him back.
Your people can smuggle him through the streets. Yes. No one notices.
All right. I'm probably just in the captain's quarters.
Yeah. You'll be alerted that the first people that you sent to Nilrem have brought back some stuff and are returning with more people to carry more things.
Yep, okay. Just, load it up. We'll leave it in the morning, so don't stay out too late.
Eventually, Nilrem will arrive with Merlin in tow. Hands bound, cloak over him.
Nilrem, you had to bring the body?
Bringing him back, Captain. He's not dead.
He's old.
We're going to, I believe this should work. Nilrem will think. I'm going to cut off his hands. He'll still be able to use his mouth and teach my apprentice when they come. But his spell casting days are probably over.
Is that necessary?
I nod. He would be too much of a risk to maintain in the base alone. But we can talk about that on the boat ride back. Maybe we can think of another way.
Maybe. All right. Well, listen. Let's given we just carted out, a lifetime's worth of magical books from this guy's tower, why don't we set sail now? I stand up from my chair. I go out and up the stairs to the deck and shout to whoever's on the deck. All right, lift the anchor. Let's get going. Back to the Dardanelles.
Back to the Dardanelles we go. Some money in your pockets, some books, a wizard, and 123 crew members that need to be whittled down to 60.
Pretty successful, really.
Some of that we could have whittled down beforehand.
I have an idea for the extra troops. Because I was actually thinking about going back to that island where we killed the mob boss and recruiting some people from there as well. What if we start repopulating the skeleton town and try and make a little bit of a pirate base there?
Well, we know from future sessions that you arrive back with just a crew of people and not a double-sized crew. So somewhere between here and there, we must get rid of about half these folks. Now, we can say that you have given on the way from Weatherlight to Hillsborough that you gave people various tests and kicked some off in Hillsborough, and we cut the numbers down that way. We could say that you maroon some people or kill some people or you drop them off in Port Ferris. But we are sort of constrained by the future.
Can we not drop them off on, I forget the name of the island. The one with the skeletons. Yeah, Sulphur Island.
He wants to drop half of the crew off in Sulphur Island and tell them your duty as our crew members is to whittle down the skeleton population.
They would need supplies, they would need resources, they need a lot of food because they wouldn't be able to make any of their own food. They would need tools.
Well, there are people on the island, and we can tell them that they're up top.
Yeah, this doesn't really work. Just dropping them off doesn't make sense. We'd want to supply them and make sure they could do it successfully.
Well,
especially since when you're going there is the same time that Sale and Archie were there. We're going to run into timeline inconsistencies that cannot be resolved.
All right, so we whittle them down then. I mean, I would argue then that since we got 120 and we've whittled them down, then the ones we do have should be better than your average 3d6 down the line, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got a good crew.
you've got a decent selection of people, some experienced sailors, some with other skills that you need. You've got like a proper cooper for all the barrels that you would need. You know, you've got someone that can
Cook,
sew
maybe.
properly. You've got a cook, all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I've
right,
got
cool.
someone to teach my apprentices.
Yeah, that's cool.
The last thing before we go is Nilrem. You taking both his hands or just one? Or just like some fingers? What?
He's not decided yet.
I'm not decided yet. I'm not doing it to get rid of his spells right now because I know that he's knocked out. He doesn't have any spells anymore. My main worry is that when he's in the base alone, he could wreak havoc as a wizard.
Yes.
And he's an unwilling wizard to do this.
Yes.
So I would know in character, what is a wizard's greatest weakness? If you take one hand, is that enough to like fuck him over? If you take fingers?
If you get rid of a hand, they cannot do somatic and material components. In fact, they can't do most somatic components. There might be one or two spells where there is a somatic component where it's like a flick of a wrist and you only need the one hand for it. And that would also have no material components with it, but that would be pretty rare. So a hand would basically get rid of all somatic component spells. A tongue gets rid of all verbal component spells, but then you can't teach. Both hands definitely is all somatic and all material components for all time. Both hands is probably the safest way to keep a wizard if you want them to talk.
It's going to be really hard for him to teach with somatic then. Or no?
Yeah, that's true. He won't be able to show how to do them.
You could remove, thumb and you could remove multiple fingers from each hand. And so he could maybe say, well,
He
with
could
your
just
one
say-
finger, you do this, and with your other finger, you do that. But then he would be unable to do them himself.
That is what I think Nilrem would probably do then. It seems the best because every spell that Nilrem has actually right now, except one, requires verbal and
What if? Okay, what about an alternative then? You know, we've got the shield. What if we put him in a room? We attach the shield like within the wall or somewhere that he can't get to it. So it's like an anti-magic room where no magic can be cast, and we lock him in it.
But
Unless
then we
you're
can't.
around.
Then he can't like teach apprentice.
Well, he can teach people how to do it. The apprentice can go out the room to test it.
Did you
I
have the
feel like
shield
that,
at this
I feel
point
like
in
that,
time?
Nick, is more fucked up than just cutting off fingers because now he can't live his life at all. He's going to be in a room with a shield 24/7 versus being able to walk around, being able to eat, being able to converse with people.
But it's non-permanent. Over time, he might grow to understand and just not want to fuck things up. If you cut the guy's
It is
fingers off,
non-permanent,
he
but
never-
does John Winters really want another wizard?
Well, John
mucking
doesn't really
about?
John doesn't really want this guy here.
I'll tell you that Nilrem doesn't want another wizard being able to cast spells at him and do stuff like that. So I think
Yeah.
Nilrem is going to push
We're gonna think about it on the journey home. So
We
let's
can think
next,
about it on the break. Yeah.
let's next week come with a solution.
I'll
we'll
need
have
an
a-
answer for next
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
And I should say, any ability that you give him to help teach your people will be make it a little bit easier to find an exception to you can't do X, Y, and Z. Like if you leave him with just the couple of fingers on each side, he could probably still scoop a palm full of colored sand and color spray you, because
Correct.
you probably wouldn't need your fingers to do that. So
Yeah.
Where's he gonna go though? I mean, like he can't sail a ship on his own. He's fucked.
Yeah, he can't really color spray me either because I'm the same level as him, so I'm not worried about that.
sure,
But I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's dangerous to have wizards with access to spells and magic. Maybe you could just keep him from ever seeing a spell book again.
yeah. I mean, if
Knock
he
him
can't- if he can't see a
unconscious.
spell book, he can't learn spells. Yeah.
And
But
all
how
he's
could he
gotta-
teach if he doesn't remember his spell book or doesn't have his spell book? Can you do that?
Just teach the basics. These are the sounds that you need to create magic. Here are the sorts of movements that come into play. You could teach someone the basics without casting things, but then they would still need you to teach them very specific stuff.
Okay. We'll think about it.
Okay, we'll think about it.
All right.
That wraps us up for our second special episode of Tides of Death. Nilrem and Captain John's adventure in Arcadia.
Good times.
Hmm. How are
was
we
good times, yeah.
feeling about this Telemachy Rohi thing?
I don't know. I think
I'm not sure.
it being Malchus is the most likely. The thing
I
that
think it
makes the
being
most
Malchus
sense.
is likely. It's either Malchus. I don't think it's the dragon anymore. It's either Malchus or I believe that it is a winter god or just like a different god. I'm not sure. Someone who maybe
Wow.
chose to stay on Earth rather than go up. I have no idea.
Are you at all concerned that you told a priest of Quantarius this name?
Not at all, because I want someone else mucking about and figuring some shit out. Yeah. I kind of
Okay.
want someone who can do some dirty work and who's going to be interested in it outside of the Dardannes, maybe poking about, and we'll see.
Wow.
All right.
Well then, anyone have anything else to say before we head off?
Just thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
There's
Subscribe to
some
Patreon.com/Tides of Death.
Yes.
Yep.
Patreon.com/Tides of Death. And on RealGoblins.com, there are Tides of Death. There's some Tides of Death merch if you are interested in hoodies and shirts with the Tides of Death logos. And that will do
Tube
it.
Story should be happening on Thursday, right? I assume everyone watching this is probably going to watch that too.
Should be on Thursday. Yeah.
Should be on Thursday.
All right. We'll see you all then. Ta-ta.
See you guys.